Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Zekeism podcast. I'm undecided about the name. I think I called it the Zekeism Show on this podcast streams, but
that is what it's called, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And instantly I was like, it probably should be podcast, so that might change. By the time this goes out, I may have made a decision on that, but I'm on the fence.
Am I going to get in the name somewhere?
No, why would you?
It's the Zook and Zeke show.
It's not. What? No, it's not. It's the Zeke
Zook comes
channel
first.
featuring Zook.
If I get an FT.Zook, I'll be happy with that at the very least. But it should be Zook in the front.
Can I put that in the
Zook,
description?
The Zeke show.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue as well as
I'm feeling it.
No. Well, I think you're in the minority.
We don't have a majority yet.
We don't. We do have a minority though. Have you been, Zook?
I've been well. Catching up on the TV I said I would be.
Have you been well? Because we didn't have an episode last week because you weren't well, if you remember.
Yeah, I had a boo-boo.
Yeah.
I can't help it if I have a boo-boo.
I need to update the listeners on how, if you're okay. They were worried.
I had a boo-boo. I had a little headache.
Mountain of emails saying, was he all right? You know.
It's the old technique. I hold a pillow over my head. I take some Nurofen and I just cry myself to sleep, and then I'm better the next day. It's a routine I've had since I was young.
Wow. Sounds like a certain degree of torture in certain places in the world.
The euphoria you get when a headache is gone, I get
that.
Amazing. Yeah,
I get that.
It's like when it's gone, it's like
No, it's like a sort of new dawn awaken sort of thing.
It's like do you know what I mean? It's like everything, like
a weight, literal weight.
The sun is shining.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was my boo-boo last week, but it wasn't a delay. I was still ready to go.
Would agree to disagree on that. But
I'm not having you besmirch me to the listeners.
I'm not besmirching. I was concerned.
You were not concerned.
No, I wasn't concerned. Well, no, because it was a headache. In your description, it was a headache. Borderline
I had
migraine.
a headache.
And I was like, well, if you record when you've got a headache, I know what it's like. I probably don't want to do something like that because, we record for over an hour usually. I was like, it's fine. We'll just do it next week. So I put a message out on the old Twitter.
I hope I get some sympathetic comments in the comments.
I'll just read them out if you want.
Yeah,
and we're done. Okay. So yeah, we'll go. We'll. Other than that, what have you been up to over the last week? Anything interesting? Been anywhere? Done anything?
Little jaunt to Sheffield.
Nice.
Aside from that, I'm looking forward to. I'm going to see Nick Offerman on later this month.
You told me this yesterday or the day before. I'm quite jealous actually. I had no idea, one, he was touring, and two, I was like, wait, what? You're going to see Nick Offerman?
Random advertisement on Instagram. I got in touch with the missus and said, "What do you think?" She bought the tickets, so definitely I'm going.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's like. As I'm getting older, like most of the people we grew up with are starting to fall away. If you know what I mean, like you know what made me think about this a lot recently in the last few years when Norm Macdonald passed away. Always someone you think,
big fans of him. Me and you.
Yeah, always someone you think, if I go to America, I'm going to try and swing by a show for some of these people, right? And then since then, my bucket list has included things like earlier this year, I went to see the Bad Friends podcast live, which I don't think you know of or hear about.
Yeah, I know tangentially know the name, but not.
Yeah, so I went to see them, for example. Nick Offerman this year. The dream is still to go see a Ricky Gervais show. He's obviously knocking on a little bit now.
He's very much knocking on.
You know what I mean? Just trying to get through things, like so you can go. Yeah, I've done that. I think.
That's cool. No word of a joke here. I'm genuinely quite jealous. But I did look at the poster and I couldn't work out what it was.
That's why I was texting you. I said it seems like a one-man show, comedy show. Yeah, he's basically Ron Swanson anyway.
Is it a Duke Silver show, or is it a comedy show? Is it a stand-up gig? I was undecided. It's probably in the grey area of all of those things. But
yeah, I mean, he might just stand up there and start whittling wood, which I also know is a pastime of his. So you never know.
I would pay to go and watch him woodwork and talk about it from a
it's
passionate
a really
point
intimate,
of view.
Venue as well. Like it's literally the town hall in Birmingham. So yeah, it's like I say, it's a really intimate venue. So hopefully you get a bit of crowd interaction with that as well. I really don't know what to expect, but I can then just say I've seen Nick Offerman, who I'm a big fan of. So
yeah, so you going to Birmingham, Alabama, or
no, Birmingham, United Kingdom, the only Birmingham worth talking about.
Oh, okay, sure.
The only way I know Birmingham, Alabama was. Yeah, I mean, it was. What else has happened in Birmingham, Alabama? Isn't that
The
where they
only
did the 6-man Hell in a Cell?
That's exactly that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the only other
that's the
reason I
only
know that place.
that's exactly the only reason I know of that place
And this
existing
is
as
the
well.
wrong show for that, but definitely the only reason
It
I
is and
know
it
of that.
isn't. It is and it isn't. I've got two other channels on YouTube as well, so I can plug the crap out of
Plug them
those.
now. Plug them now.
I got wrestling, I got a gaming, I got a film and TV, anything sort of channel. There you go. All of them under the name Zekeism.
Zekeism,
People love it.
Zekeism wrestling.
Yep. Zekeism wrestling, Zekeism gaming, Zekeism full stop.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about
People love
yourself?
it.
What have you been up to? There's been a lot of talk about me.
Not a hell of a lot, to be honest. Married with a kid, and that's sort of my life. So, do the
You have
podcast with yourself and do the channel. That's sort of
with an
hobby
answer like
at
that,
this
you have
point.
turned into Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah.
Oh.
My parents live over the road. Yeah, right.
Hey, Deb. Hey, Deb. Hey, Deb. I always remember him. That's all I can hear him saying is either Robert or Deborah. Oh,
Yeah.
Deborah.
I'll tell you about Ray Romano. It was a comedy stand-up show that he did. It was on Netflix, and I watched it during COVID.
What, an
Very
actual
impressed,
Ray
actually.
Romano stand-up
A
gig.
Ray Romano stand-up set.
Oh,
I
wow.
was
Okay.
laughing my ass off.
Okay.
I was actually
Well, a
quite
lot of those
impressed with it.
weird, a lot of the sitcoms that end up in America, I don't know if it's true nowadays, but back in the day, it was them seeing a stand like Seinfeld, them seeing a stand up do quite well, and then just going, "Do you want to write some episodes of a sitcom
Yeah,
featuring
yeah,
yourself doing sort of comedic things?" And that's how they would go.
yeah, yeah. But he's a really good comedian. I was really impressed. He literally does like family-based jokes, like an Everybody Loves
Mm.
Raymond show,
Bit
and
like Lee Evans.
it
Then Lee
was
Evans
good.
is all his jokes are about
Yeah,
family.
just talking about
Yeah.
his kids, talking about his wife. Just that those
Mm.
are all the jokes were, but they were really good. I really liked it. Good hour spent.
I've got a love-hate relationship with stand-up because it's so subjective. One person who you find funny, I might not find funny, and then when you're going to a live environment where you're expected to laugh alongside with the crowd, it becomes a bit of a social anxiety place for me. I don't know whether it's just me, but when I went to Lee Evans, who I do like, I went to a gig with my friends years ago, one of his live gigs, but down in London, and I remember feeling it wasn't as funny as everyone was laughing out loud with me, and I felt like such a like Emperor's New Clothes sort of thing, and I was like, it is funny. I'm just not sure it's like wet yourself laughing that all the other people around me are absolutely cackling and slapping their knees, and I was just like,
No,
okay,
I mean, quite a few times on a work do we've ended up at an open mic night, and it's
yeah.
not been fun for me because
That's
there's
the kind
something
of
about
environment where social
yeah,
anxiety
everybody's it's
becomes
like
a
forced fun.
yeah.
Everybody's laughing because they want to either don't make the comedian feel bad or what, and some of them are terrible. I've got to be honest, like, and
Well,
I
no, but
respect the
that's it.
craft.
It's one of those
And
one
I'll
of
tell
those
you what it
things.
relates to actually. Do you remember in the last episode I said the two things me and my partner won't go to see at the cinema is a horror and a comedy for that same mentality. What some people find scary and they're making
Mm.
racket about, I won't be. And equally, when you go see a comedy, some other people are laughing hysterically, and it takes me out of it. And that's the same with like if you go to a bad
Yeah,
stand-up show.
I suppose it's the same principle, but then a stand-up is so personal. Whereas, if you're watching a film, it's something projected onto a screen.
Mm.
There's a divorcement of emotional relatability because the person up there is saying, "This is what I find funny, and I'm trying to make you laugh," and then that sort of, like I said, anxiety-ridden sort of like, "Well, I'm not really finding it as funny as a." And because we're British, there's a polite thing that comes into it as well. Where you're like, well, I want to laugh along to be a bit polite, but actually, I'm really not finding it funny.
I tell you
Anyway,
what
maybe
works
that's just me.
best. You know how like going back to like Ricky Gervais, right? He never done stand up before. Suddenly did that show Animals in the 2000s.
Brilliant. It's so
Just on a
funny.
whim, went and did it. We did really
Hmm.
successful and stuff. Never done comedy before actual stand up.
Yeah.
But a lot of that success was really born from his cult of personality from the stuff he'd done on The Office. So I think the best stand ups are the ones that do have that personality. Like Frankie Boyle, if you went to see him without knowing his background, or
Mm.
I think you might not find him quite as funny. And not that I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of his either, by the way, but I'm just giving an example.
No,
Someone famous off the TV that got
no.
a
I get what
personality.
you're saying. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. I mean, Dave Chappelle. I know he's mega famous for stand
Yeah.
up,
Another
and
one, by
he's
the way. So glad I got to
on
see
your
live.
bucket list. Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
him. Seen
I've
him.
seen
Saw him
him.
in
Okay,
London. Yeah, I saw him in London. It's
but
fantastic.
I remember him from the '90s being in like random films like Con Air and Nutty Professor and all these other things, and then you discover his stand up. You're like, oh, he's actually more a stand up than he is an actor. He
Best
just
stand-up in the
wasn't.
world currently,
Yeah, he
I'd
was just
say.
a stand-up that ended up doing some acting, similar to Lee Evans, I guess, to a certain extent.
I think he started super young as well. I'm sure Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
literally started at like 14 or something. It was crazy
Mm.
young.
Yeah. Well, it's anyway. I'm a fan of Dave Chappelle's as well. Who else did you just
Did
name
not know
check?
that. Find that
Frankie
surprising.
Boyle, not a big Frankie Boyle fan
No, take him
personally.
or
So
leave him. Some things are funny, but majoritively though, it's like
he's
shock
one of those.
value, which I don't really buy into personally.
Well, I don't know because I'm not obviously being British. We're not au fair with a lot of American stand-ups unless they have something big that comes internationally, and we end up getting some sort of
Speak
prominence.
speak for yourself. I'm big on the American podcast circuit. So again, that cult of personality
Fine, yeah,
helps
yeah.
me to know who they are, which then I spoke about one of them the other week actually on one of their other shows, Bert Kreischer I mentioned, which his film was The
Yeah.
Machine, not The Bear, which I got wrong in that podcast.
Oh, did
But
you? Okay.
yeah,
Well, I didn't fact check you, so there you
we were
go.
talking about comedies in cinemas, and
Oh, there was lots of emails about that, and they were really angry at you getting that wrong. I remember now.
you're lying again. It's like the people that were sympathetic to my headache.
I mean, you see what you want to see.
I'd like to see these emails.
Okay, I'll show you after the show.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. We'll update you next week on the show. Did the emails receive, or is Zeke lying again?
Oh, Bert Kreischer emailed saying you're a dick.
I'll take that on the chin. Do you know what? If you have that, let's advertise it because he's got a lot of followers. We might get some listeners to this podcast.
Well, Bert, if you're out there, we're all ears. I got an open invite.
He's not a
But
good friend.
no, I think yeah. I mean, we've dovetailed into a conversation about stand up, but I think yeah, stand up is so subjective. I've got friends of mine who literally, they'll swear by. Trying to think the most spurious sort of funny people, and I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
not sure. I'm not a big fan of theirs. So yeah, going to a live stand up gig where again, like I'm saying, that sort of forced laughter mentality comes into it. I'm like, well, I was half-hearted about coming anyway, but I'm really not going to laugh when I'm forced to laugh, sort of thing. And then
Yeah,
you end
yeah.
up being the minority because everyone who's there is pretty much a fan of the person doing the stand-up anyway, and you end up being anyways.
Maybe we're just old and grumpy, but you get that feeling. You know,
That
when
is probably
everybody in your
likely.
friendship group
Yeah,
wants to do something, you don't quite want to do it, but you go anyway, and you have to smile along for the evening, but you didn't really want to be there.
yeah,
That's kind of what we're talking about here. That feeling is
yeah.
what
I
I'm
mean,
feeling when I'm talking about it.
you're probably right. It is probably a grumpy old man mentality, but yeah, I think there's probably both things can be true as well.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
can be
just
old
it.
and grumpy and
I'm with
miserable,
it.
and also not enjoy live
I
stand up.
hate forced fun. Generally, it's one of my
Yeah,
peeves in life. Like,
yeah.
it's going to be great, is it? Because I'm not feeling it before we went.
Well, maybe that's what the name of the podcast should be. Then it should just become grumpy old
It's
men
going
or
to be
something.
great.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, there you go. That's even better. Okay, let's get into it. And welcome back. Let's get into the news items. And I know this news item is close to your heart because I know you've already said on episode 1, I think it was, you're a big fan of DCU. You're a big fan of what James Gunn is planning to do.
Can we just point out it's James Gunn's DCU I like based on that one film, but
Yeah.
what's happened before I wasn't
Well, no,
massively invested in. Although I
they
did
made
like Batman vs Superman and you did not, but I did
no, I
like that
didn't.
film.
But they made that distinction because that was called the DCEU, DC Extended Universe.
Oh, okay, yeah,
This
yeah.
is the DCU, which is James Gunn's revised
Okay.
universe. So
And I
there
just
is a
did a
distinction.
discredit to Man of Steel as well, which was also one of the best DCU EU films they did.
I liked Man of Steel,
That was a great film. Best
and
Snyder film in the Snyder lot, I think.
I liked a majority of the Wonder Woman film, and some of Batman vs Superman. Oh, and
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. That was actually good.
So
That was
it was till the
legitimately.
end. Didn't like the
Well,
end.
yeah, but there
But I
it was
liked
obviously
it. I liked the
yeah.
build up, the tone, the story he was trying to tell. Yeah.
Did you like the post credit?
Remind me of the post credit.
It's the wasteland with Jared Leto Joker showing back up with Amber Heard's hair
Well,
up.
not
Is it
necessarily
hair
the
up?
Amber Heard part, but Wasteland Batman I was into. I know it gets slated online, but I actually quite liked that whole. I wanted to see a film like if they were because they never did a Batman solo film, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they were to do one, I would want that. To be
But
honest, that would be an interesting take because we've seen Batman Origin, we've seen him fight the different people.
yeah,
Batman Wasteland with Superman hovering over like as a threat. That would be
yeah.
an interesting take, I think,
It
for a
would be.
film.
But do you like the cacophony of wasteland scenario with Amber Heard, Ezra Miller, and Jared Leto, three controversial figures in the same scene.
But only Jared Leto was
And you can
controversial
even
at
toss
that
Ben
time.
Affleck in there as well, to be fair. He's got a checkered
Why
past
is he
as well.
controversial?
He cheated on Jennifer Garner with a nanny, right?
Oh, that's so long ago. I mean, he's been remarried to Lopez since then, and he's most famous now for the smoking meme. All is forgiven.
Which is the
The joy
smoking
I
meme.
get out of looking at that meme where he's got a fag in his hand and he's like, like looking at the sky, like I needed this.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Have
I
you
know
not seen it?
sad Affleck. I know that's the
Yes.
meme. You know when he was sad there, sitting there next to Henry Cavill, and he's just like, because he
Yeah.
knew the film was getting negative reviews.
But yeah, no, I think only Jared Leto at that point was controversial. But yeah, I'd have been into that film at that time. Would I want it seen made now? No, probably not, because
No,
Matt Reeves gave me the Batman, and
I
that
think
is
the
the best
ships.
Batman take I have seen. I love that film,
I remember being
and the
very
Penguin, which you didn't
stoked.
watch either.
I've seen 2 episodes of The Penguin,
It's
which I
amazing.
liked. I just haven't fit. I've gone
It's
back to
amazing.
finish. We'll go into it later. I've only done 5 episodes of Monster, the Ed Gein thing, so we'll go into that in a bit as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so you know when you start something and then things get in the way and you have to revise it anyway. But I
Yeah.
liked it. I liked both episodes of Penguin so far. It's a nice little build. I can see. Okay, I'm into the characters. I'm sort of locked in. I like what's her face, the one from 30 Rock, who's in the Penguin.
What the Sophia Falcone?
Yes, whatever her actress's name is. She's
Um,
good. I like her already.
it's actually going to bother me now. Yeah,
What's her
she's a
name?
really
I
good
can't remember.
actress. She's in some other stuff as well that I like.
I've only know her from 30 Rock, but yeah, she's probably in loads of other things that are
Didn't know
escaping
she was
me.
in that, if I'm honest. I saw her in something else.
She wasn't a major character. She was just I know the character she plays in 30 Rock.
Christina Milioti.
That's her. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, she's good. She's good. Anyway,
That's it.
it's segueing, but
How I Met Your Mother. Sorry, that's where I knew her from.
oh, she is in How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Anyway, this was spearheaded by obviously the leak, the announcement, the rumor that the next Superman film James Gunn's written, he's in pre-production now for it. I believe Peacemaker has already started setting this up as well, from what I hear as well. I haven't caught up with Peacemaker yet, so I'm not
Neither have I.
there.
Neither have I.
But Lex Luthor's been in that, apparently.
Okay.
And apparently the next Superman film, or the sequel to his Superman film that came out this year, which was titled Superman, which helps with continuity and trying to explain away this, is a Superman Lex Luthor film, like a buddy film where they're trying to stop Brainiac.
Oh, they work together.
They work together.
I was going to say, I thought you were about to say that it's Superman versus Lex Luthor, and I was thinking
No.
straight away, we just got
We
that.
just saw that, yeah. No, apparently
Yeah.
Brainiac is the villain. Lex Luthor has an interest, obviously, in stopping Brainiac because it does him no favors, and apparently him, Superman, are allegedly it's a team up movie, sort of
Okay.
begrudging ally sort of movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise. I think I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not well versed in Superman lore. My mate would.
Didn't they
talk-
team up in Robot Chicken to take on Starro?
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to base anything off that. Surely. And I would imagine knowing Robot Chicken, I mean, that may be something they made up on the spot, or that's based on an actual comic. This probably no James Gunn is based on actual source material from a comic that I know nothing of. So
Yeah.
no idea. But it's an interesting premise because I enjoyed. I thought actually weirdly, it's so weird. My summer started like this. I had low expectations for Superman because I don't really like that character too much. Never been sort of a big Superman fan. And then the more as it started to come out and the promotional stuff started to come out, I got sold by the marketing, and I was like, actually, I think I'm looking forward to that Superman film more than I am the Fantastic Four film, which we came out, I think, 2 weeks apart from each other. I was like, I think Superman's going to do better than Fantastic Four. In the end, I think they sort of plateaued at the same sort of peak. I think Superman made more domestically, and Fantastic Four made more internationally, and they sort of leveled each other out.
Yeah.
I think, and then I saw Superman. I thought I like it. I do like it. I like that Superman as well. I love Lois Lane. I thought she was really good as well. Lex was okay, and Nicholas Hoult. I thought did a okay job. It's hard because when you know a character, when you know an actor from so many other things, it's really hard when they step into a famous role and you're like, I'm still not seeing Lex Luthor.
About a boy.
About a boy, Beast in the
Beast,
X-Men
yeah,
First
from
Class. So
Marvel.
it's really tough to see him in something. Oh, Mad Max. I see him in Mad Max Fury Road as well.
What a lovely day.
Yeah. So it's really tough to see him, but I thought he did a fine job. I think he actually was. think, an archetypal detestable villain who you want to see
Yeah,
lose because
yeah.
he was so mean to the dog and he was so just mean personified.
Yeah, I found those scenes quite hard. I'm a big animal lover, and
Yeah,
I
but he was
didn't
a
enjoy
one
those.
note.
But
He
it
was a
made
one
me
note
feel, which was the idea behind it. So
similar to the
yeah,
High
it got
Evolutionary
that.
in Guardians 3. He's just a one note,
Oh,
mean, detestable villain who you
yeah.
want to see lose at the end.
Yeah,
Fact.
yeah. Well,
Which is
you
fine. It
bring
serves the
small
purpose.
animals into anything, you're gonna hate anybody that does it.
Exactly. It served the plot and it served the film well because he was a villain you wanted to see lose, you want to see the hero overcome. And I actually think that Superman did a good. David Corenswet, I think his name is,
Yeah, the
did a really good
Superman.
job
Yeah.
actually. Because I'm not a usual, and he obviously had to step in Henry Cavill's shoes as well, which is challenging in itself. But I thought he did a decent job. I actually liked him. I thought I've seen so much online criticism towards him being very human, but for me as a
He needs
non-Superman
that as a
guy,
character, though, doesn't he?
but for me as a non-Superman guy, that was my buy-in. Actually, I liked him as a result of that, seeing that weakness, which has
Mm.
always put me off Superman because he can do everything and he's not very weak and there's nothing to really grab onto from a character point of view. I thought they did a good job with it personally from that point of view, but other people online
Yeah.
tell me I'm wrong and they're like, no, Superman should be invulnerable and he should be able to beat him really easily and all this other stuff. And you're like, okay, fine. Evidence that you can't please everybody, in my
Well,
opinion.
I liked the film too, and I wasn't planning to see it because I was a Henry Cavill stan,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was on your recommendation that I actually went to see it with my partner, and we both left the cinema like pretty good,
I was
really good.
surprised. I
So,
actually liked it. I like the different, and you can sense the different tone. Okay, it's very James Gunn. It's very sort of silly, I guess. It's like how would you describe James Gunn's thing? It's like
everybody's a character.
it's like composed silliness, composed goofiness, isn't it? It's like self-serious goofiness.
Yeah, but everybody's their own
But it
thing.
works. No, it works.
It's
It's
not
very,
like
it's an
generic
entertaining.
background people. Even the background people,
Yeah, yeah.
all the small parts are themselves big, loud characters. You know,
Yeah, even the kaiju scene and all that, all the random stuff. There were some choices they made in that film, and I'm
the
not
people that
even
worked for the Daily
talking.
Planet, they were all individuals with big personalities. You know,
I'm not even
it brings up
talking. Yeah,
the world a lot more.
I don't give a monkeys about the political stuff that was mentioned in it. I don't care. Parking that to one side, I think the narrative choices, such as the opening crawl, their decisions that I made, I was like, I'm really not sure that's the best way of telling how we got here, sort of beginning intro bit. It's quick and succinct, but I don't think it works narratively because you have a whole lot to read. It's like, the opening crawl of Star Wars is
Mm.
famous and it's very unique, and you go, okay, you expect that from a Star Wars film, so they have to put it in. But I mean, I'm not sure I want to see it in every film because you're like, okay, how do we get to this point? Okay, set the scene. The scene is you've seen how Superman's formed, so that's fine. You can jot that out, and then you can say, well, how do we get here? This is a different universe, nothing like the Henry Cavill one. We've got a younger Superman. He's a bit more human. Lex Luthor's already around. LexCorp
Yeah.
is already around, sort of basically dominating the technology market. There's a couple of warring nations which are going to factor into the story as well, and all this other stuff. And you're like, okay, sure. Um, but from that point of view, it's yeah. I found it a bit disengaging to first, and then it took me about 20 minutes to get involved in the story, and then it's good turn into a review of Superman. Didn't mean to, but yeah, and then I was involved. I think once you get to the scene where Clark and Lois are in the apartment and they're talking, I was in. I was like, okay, I'm in. I get
Mm.
those characters. I get where they are, and at least that's something I can latch onto. And then from then on, I think I enjoyed the movie a lot.
I mean, the best Mr. Terrific was the best.
He was uber cool. He was uber
Yeah.
cool. Again, a niche, superfluous character probably in the comics. I don't know. I don't know how famous or
And I
prominent he
quite
is.
liked how goofy he made the Justice Gang.
And the goofy Green Lantern, who I'm
Yeah.
told is like that in the comics. So that
Yeah.
was, yeah,
It was a good choice rather than being super serious. It was definitely a
yeah.
mood switch from previous DC movies.
And I think that's key. It's the
Um,
tone. The tone
yeah.
isn't sort of only self-serious. Superman is,
I just honestly I don't want Batman
virtuous.
mixed up in that. Matt Reeves' Batman is
It's going to
perfect.
happen though.
It's so gritty and grounded, and I just don't want him then moving into Goofland to
But
then
would
try and
you?
be gritty and
Okay,
grounded again.
okay. So here are your two lanes then. You have Robert Pattinson's Batman get involved with this Superman in this James Gunn world, which, as you've just said, probably tonally doesn't really work.
No.
Or you introduce another Batman that's going to be alongside the Robert Pattinson Batman in a separate film, but they're the same DCU universe.
I
You're
think you
getting
can
into
introduce a new
multiverse
Batman.
territory. You're getting into multiverse territory from the off, which makes it a little bit more
No,
complex. And
not at
audiences are
all.
sort of
Not
saying
at
they want
all.
no more
I
multiverse stuff.
don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Really? Okay.
They can coexist as separate entities. Matt Reeves is building a completely separate world. Like not even taking Batman, right? If you put the Penguin
Yeah.
in that sort of world that we just saw built in Superman,
Hmm.
wouldn't look right, wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You can have a Batman in the Superman world we just observed in that film, right?
Hmm.
Without having to insert the gritty Matt Reeves Batman with Robert Pattinson. And the
Yeah.
way you do it, I think, is you have an older Batman.
As the
So it's
James
Batman Year
Gunn's
One is
Batman.
what
So
Matt
you're
Reeves is
for
basing it
Brave
on.
and the
So his
Bold,
first
which is
year is
rumored.
yeah. So
Right.
if you have an older Batman who's a bit more not necessarily grizzled, maybe our age, you know what I mean, like nearly middle age, right? Um,
Ouch.
have an older Batman who's been doing it for a bit in Gotham, and he's
Yeah.
inserted to do the Justice League stuff, sort of like what Ben Affleck was kind of doing in the Snyderverse,
He's
right?
gonna, yeah.
I think that would work. But if you take young Batman with young
Mm.
Superman, it just ends up looking like what you've said before, young Avengers, and that just doesn't work. Right?
But do you run the risk if you've already got a well-established Batman universe, which Matt Reeves, I think, did a phenomenal job with?
Yep.
Robert Pattinson, to be fair to him, did a phenomenal job with his Batman, especially his Bruce Wayne. I think he did a really good job with his Bruce Wayne.
Oh, I'm the other way
Um,
around. I think
oh, really? Okay.
he's like
No, I
Harry
thought
Enfield's he's like a Harry Enfield's Kevin Bruce Wayne, but he does a good Batman.
well, he's like a Crow version of Batman. It's weird. It's very sort of,
Or
emo. I don't want to say emo kid, but that sort of
I was going to say the kid
trail.
at the dinner table in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah.
That's the Robert Patterson in
I'm going to
that
my
Bruce Wayne
room.
portrait. Yeah, I'm going to my room. Yeah,
Going to my room to
um,
paint.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
sort of see
exactly
that,
that.
but do you run the risk then that if you've got that Batman already established and a universe that's already ongoing, we've seen the Penguin extend that world as well. More to come, probably. I hear that Gotham PD show is sort of supposed to be coming off the back of the Penguin as well, something like that. Anyway, in Matt Reeves' universe, you then introduce another Batman. Are you not one short handing yourself because you've got to get that Batman over in addition to Robert Pattinson now, or that world to make it relevant? And two, have you not almost cut your nose off to spite your face because now you're lowering the credibility of Robert Pattinson's Batman universe because they're both sort of competing for attention? How do you get one to go? It's like if you had, for example, you got Tony Stark's Iron Man going on and you introduce another Iron Man series
Um,
with a new Iron Man alongside it, and you go,
I
well, how does that work?
my honest perfect world answer is that they just don't put any Batman in any James Gunn stuff for a while and let Matt Reeves play it out over a couple of years.
That's a good
I
idea.
don't
Yeah.
think it's needed, but from what I saw from Superman
So
film,
give it 5 years.
there's
Give it
enough
five
there to
years.
not actually need a Batman in there. And then by
Yeah.
that point, I mean, after a trilogy, I'm pretty sure Rob Patterson would have seen away the role anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Matt
Yeah.
Reeves would then want to continue on. What's more than a trilogy, right? You're not going to do more than that. So just tell his story, see it through.
Quad.
I don't think it needs to be 4 films, but yeah, just that world building. And I mean, it's an instant classic what he's already done, but just leave Batman out of it for the time being, I think. Genuinely, there's so many others. I mean, you've got Aquaman still to pop in somewhere. You've got, which, if rumors true, I'm really on board with. What's the
What
actor?
casting?
Alan Richardson. I've heard is going to be the actor for that.
For Aquaman.
Yeah,
Reacher.
yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I heard, and I can see that. It's a tone shift from Jason Momoa.
Yeah. So he's going to be classic Aquaman then with the orange. Do you
Classic
think?
Aquaman, yeah.
Yeah.
Trident and blonde hair.
I'll be honest, Robot Chicken sort of killed that Aquaman's credibility.
Robot Chicken did kill that Aquaman, but Alan Richardson is the right amount of goofy, and I mean I used to be a big fan of Blue Mountain State back in the day, which I don't think you ever watched, but that was
yeah.
he's like that. He's like a jock, a self-serious
I
jock
can,
who can't laugh at himself, and that's what if he did Aquaman as that, I think it would be
I can
quite.
see him doing that role. I can see him being moody, grizzled Aquaman. It looking like that, but also being tough and, you know, obviously just physically, the guy's imposing as hell. The guy's massive.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he's a
yeah, I
tank.
think you can get around the sort of goofy look of it, but it's going to be a goofy look because that's what James Gunn does. He puts the goofy on screen and makes you like them.
Mm.
Rocket and Groot, or you know, there's a litany of characters from the Guardians and also the Superman film you did that he's introduced goofy ass characters that you think on paper, on the, you when you read the comics, you're like, I don't give a monkeys for that. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story of the Superman. Uh, yeah. It sounds interesting. It sounds like an interesting idea. I think the pal up.
Yeah, we went way off course from the original subject matter there, but
Mm,
yeah, no, I like the idea of that.
mm,
Obviously, Brainiac's and I always like a villain we've not seen on the screen before. And if it is
yeah.
Brainiac, then that would be interesting. How does he do it? What does it look like? What's the, you know, what I mean, what's the overall end piece there for that character? I
Yeah.
mean, my only main experience of Brainiac is playing that Injustice game we used to play. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Apart
I
from that,
remember.
I'm not too au fait with Brainiac, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what it comes across as a screen.
Mm, yeah.
Same as Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific, I'd never heard of, but now I feel engaged with that character. I know what's going on, and again,
Yeah.
I trust James Gunn wholly with that universe, and I would like to see what that looks like.
As do I. As do I. Okay, so further from the DCU spiel or talk, we'll look wider into the DCU slate, and then you, as DC fan, can tell me how excited you are about the projects. So we'll start with the next one, Supergirl, previewed in the
Uh,
Superman film. So we saw her briefly, I think,
o-
a
Open
version of
my,
it.
yeah, I don't know because I didn't see enough of that character to really form a real opinion.
Hmm,
Random, I will say, from her introduction in Superman,
yeah,
but I'm open-minded. Whether, and again, probably from previous episodes, I don't know. My barometer on what I see in the cinema is pretty high sometimes, but
yep.
whether I'd go to see it in the cinema, I don't know. But I'm open-minded to see the film, and I definitely watch it to give my own form my own opinion, obviously. But yeah, I don't know about the character. Maybe the whoever the enemy is, or maybe if some plot leaks or something to say what the film's actually going to be about, I might be more into it. But uh,
Hmm.
at the moment, mixed. Don't know what to think about that, if I'm honest.
Description here says Supergirl is based on Tom King's comic book series of the same name, and it's set to introduce Supergirl viewers are not used to seeing, which I think we already saw in um, the Superman film, played
Yeah.
by House of the Dragons Millie Alcock, um, while Craig Gillespie's in the director's chair. So
Yeah,
James
she's
Gunn
good.
said,
She's good in House of the Dragon. Barely saw her in Superman, but seemed an okay adaptation of her. Um, yeah, I just say I'm open-minded, but I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
formed an opinion. What the plot is, who the bad guy is, maybe I don't know. Is she sobering up in the film? I don't know. I mean, because I'd probably rather she was a permanent, wreck, really, just because that would add that little bit of humor to the character that maybe it needs.
James Gunn says we will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, versus Supergirl, who's raised on a rock chip off of Krypton, watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, only to find herself on Earth with that cousin.
Okay, doesn't give much away.
No? Interesting sort of premise. Uh, Clayface. The most random, I think, on this list, but Clayface is coming.
It is, but I've literally in our little interval there, I have
Mhm.
had a little look myself because I was looking up Matt Reeve anyway, following on from our previous conversation, just curious
Yeah.
what he was doing. And it's a Matt Reeve film, which again puts me on board with because I think he's a great director. But the cast as well that I've just had a look at, so it's got I forget the chap's name, from Ray Donovan is what I know him from. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Um, Anyone knows his brother? I can't remember his name though, so forgive me. But
Tom
I
Reese
just
Harris.
top. No, so that's the main character, isn't it?
That's
That's
the main
who's playing
character. Yeah,
Clayface.
sorry.
Yeah, so I've just seen him in a series on Apple TV, which again, best streaming site out there if anyone's listening. Um, and he plays a role in in a show called Suspicion, which again myself and partner really enjoyed
Hmm.
more recently. So yeah, again looking at that cast, I'd be quite on board with it. And it's got again forget his name, but he's in The Handmaid's Tale. Um, plays one of the commanders in there. He's a good actor as
Okay.
well. So I'm reasonably on board with Clayface, and I'm interested to see what it does. I think it's been described as DC's version of The Fly, which
That's what
sounds
I'm reading.
very
That's what I'm reading.
gothic, and I'm interested because it sounds again a tonal switch from anything else we may have seen. Feels more Penguin, but horror.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It's directed by Speak No Evil director James Watkins. That's the James McAvoy film that came out last year, where he's a creepy sort of obviously look like Straw Dogs a little bit. Who
That
just
was a
seemed
good
like they're
film.
unhinged.
It was
I
a
haven't
good
seen
film.
it. Is it good? Okay.
Yeah,
And
did like that
co-written
film.
by Mike Flanagan. That's great. He's
GG.
a House on Haunted Hill. He did the what's the sequel to The Shining that came out with Ewan McGregor? Anyway,
Shining.
he's good. He knows horror and good horror at that. So
Hmm.
that's got me a bit more interested. I've just read that. So yeah, okay, that's my little
Okay.
insert there.
Yeah. I'd probably look forward to that at the moment based on what I've seen already more than I would Supergirl.
Yeah,
And if I mean again if IMDb and Google's to be believed, then this coming out literally next year. So nice and soon.
is it because Clayface is a man?
I can't believe you just accused me of that. This
No,
isn't the Loki podcast.
look. Joking aside, no,
Hang on. What's our criteria? Entertainment and quality. We said
I'm
that
with
at
you.
day
I
one
was
of this
ribbing.
podcast.
I was ribbing. I'm with you. I'll be honest. I'm with you. I think Clayface, just reading it, the fact Mike Flanagan's involved, that's great. Uh, is more interesting, sort of. Really, they're doing a Clayface film, so that's got my attention more than Supergirl. Who, again, I'm not big au fait with Superman world anyway. Even less so with Supergirl. And the version I saw in the Superman film that came out this year, I was like, oh, okay, that's odd. I don't know where you go with that character, but maybe
Yeah.
they will. Okay, next one up is Man of Tomorrow. We've already spoken about this. This is the Superman Lex team up film. David Corenswet, Nicholas Hoult are already confirmed to be in it. James Gunn said he's written it, and they're in pre-production now. So we've
Don't think
already
there's
sort of
much more to
spoken
touch
about
on
that.
there that we
Yeah,
haven't
we've
sort
already
of touched
spoken
on
about it.
already. Yeah.
Apparently, it's made. It's a reference to possible link to a comic book story of the same name by Alan Moore. That's the guy who wrote Watchmen.
Okay.
Um, so perhaps I don't know. We don't know much about it. But next up, Brave and the Bold. DC is set to introduce its live-action Batman and Robin in a new movie called The Brave and the Bold, directed by The Flash's Andy Muschietti, who did the It films and he did Mama.
Tells me straight away there's a different Batman coming in.
Yeah, so whatever he talked
Yeah.
about is sort of been super been
It's
jumped.
sort of been confirmed by that, if I'm honest,
Yeah,
that there is going to be a different Batman to Matt Reeves' universe.
yeah. Gunn described Damian Wayne, aka Robin, as a little son of a bitch to Deadline and an assassin, a murderer who Batman takes on, but who is Batman's actual son that he doesn't know exists for the first 8 to 10 years of his life. It's a strange father and son story about the two of them, based on Grant Morrison's run of the Batman. He said,
I tend to prefer a Robin who was adopted myself, so
Mm.
yeah, I'm not sure about
Dick
that.
Grayson sort of Batman. Then,
Yeah, the one who he's adopted from the circus. I mean, but then
Mm.
again, that's just the story I'm more familiar with. So again, but James Gunn has my trust. So let's see where it goes. I
Yeah,
couldn't say that I'm more excited for that than I was for Clayface, which does sound interesting.
yeah,
But probably yeah, I'd probably still be more excited for those two than Supergirl currently. But again, it's because I don't know that character very well or what they're doing.
yeah. Next up, Swamp Thing. Announced in 2023, information on the new Swamp Thing movie is still limited. I did see Vincent D'Onofrio publicly said he would like to play Swamp Thing, so that's interesting. Uh,
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny director James Mangold, who also directed no, not F1. Oh God, what am I thinking of? The Ferrari, Ford versus Ferrari, and also directed Logan.
Okay.
He's directing. He described the movie as a simple, clean, gothic horror and just a standalone film. That he's not interested in the extended universe stuff, obviously. So
Yeah.
he's
Well,
not interested in being
how
handcuffed by
could you
so much
really?
lore. Yeah,
I don't know how you'd bring that into an extended universe, like
well,
the Swamp
Swamp Thing.
thing.
Yeah, but why
It's
do
probably
it? If you're going to include him in the universe, if that makes sense as well. Otherwise,
yeah,
why do it?
I guess.
That's always the thing. I because I'll dovetail to the Marvel thing as well. When I see the complaint about they need more standalone stories, I get it. They don't want to have to do a lot of research to go see a film. However, there are audiences out there that do want to include coexisting universe stuff, in which case you've got to please all parties. What you want is a standalone film that makes sense. You don't have to do a lot of research, but if you're involved in that sort of following through lines and all that sort of stuff. There are things for you there as well. You want the both best of both worlds almost.
Yeah, I think maybe sometimes Marvel over-index, but a little bit of
Oh,
that. I mean, if
they
they
do,
take,
definitely do, they
I
do.
mean,
Yeah.
let's just say there was a story, I don't know what, where a Swamp Thing is needed to come in. You've already got the actor there, bring him in for it. Do you know what I mean? But don't make it like a thread that you have to follow up with in later films because then you let people down. I think that's where Marvel's let itself down over the years is not being able to follow up on some of the things they've left hooked, if you know what I mean, at the end of some of their films.
Another new upcoming movie from DC Studios is called The Authority, which will see Wildstorm characters joining the DCU. We don't know what form the group will take, but we do know it will have links to Superman and see the Authority taking matters into their own hands to do what they believe is right. Whether that means killing people, destroying heads of state, changing governments, whatever they want to do will make the world better, James Gunn previously explained. While Peter Safran, who's the co-head of DC, explained that the morally complex team, they compared, sorry, the morally complex team to Jack Nicholson's character in A Few Good Men. This is another movie that's on the DCU back burner right now, with Gunn saying it's had a hard time coming along and hasn't been much of a priority. I don't think this one gets made.
I mean, I haven't been hooked by your description. It sounds very
That
complicated.
seems so. It's like Marvel projects when they're doing really, really well that get greenlit. When money's tight and we know that Warner Brothers is looking to be sold or potentially look to be sold, and
Mm.
they're trying to get these things greenlit, you want the big ticket numbers getting greenlit. And I think this one seems like actually, you know what, this one might become a TV show then. In that case, maybe I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Of all the ones we've spoken about, I don't have much of a thought on that one. I'd have to hear more, see more, maybe see
It's
it.
under the list of
Maybe,
films, so it's
yeah.
not down as a TV show. The next one, the last one they've announced is Wonder Woman. James Gunn recently revealed that a new Wonder Woman movie is being written. The upcoming film is separate from Paradise Lost, which is a Wonder Woman TV series also being made during the initial rollout of DCU Chapter 1. Paradise Lost will focus on the Amazon island of Themyscira. Gunn also confirmed that no one has been cast as Wonder Woman yet, meaning that Gal Gadot will not be returning. So a brand new Wonder Woman.
I kind of like Gal Gadot. She's made some faux pas, I think, in acting recently in the last few years, but I'm not against the recast, if I'm honest. I think she's had her moment as Wonder
I
Woman.
think
It's
if you're
probably
going to
time to move on with
divorce,
somebody else.
if you don't bring back Cavill, you don't bring back Wonder Woman. You don't bring back any
You
of
don't bring
them.
back anybody from that.
No,
I mean,
I
I
think
think Momoa's going
yeah.
to be recast, isn't he? As
He's being recast as Lobo because that's probably
Lobo.
the
Yep,
role
yep.
he would
But,
probably
but
do
that suits
best
him,
at.
right? That
Yeah,
suits in a new role, completely different character. You're not going to put the two and two together.
for sure.
But yeah, bringing back a Cavill, bringing back an Affleck, bringing back a Gal Gadot, that just wouldn't suit what James Gunn's trying to do.
Yeah, Peacemaker season 2 we're already underway with. I haven't caught up on it, so I don't know. I heard there's multiverse things going on in it, so that's probably the sign of things to come
Mm.
with what James Gunn's universe is going to be if it continues. Lanterns, which is supposed to come out next year, described as an enormous TV event series. Lanterns will follow intergalactic cops Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, played by Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler. It'll be a mystery show described as a superhero take on True Detective. According to the DC Studios bosses, they will also play a really big role leading us into the main story that we're telling across our film and TV over this period. It's written by True Detective Night Country writer Chris Mundy, whilst Damon Lindelof of Lost and HBO's Watchmen will be writing on the series alongside award-winning comic writer Tom King.
Really like Night Country. Interested to see True Detective series generally. I'm a fan of.
Is Night Country the one with Jodie Foster?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yeah. Set
with
in
you.
Alaska.
Yeah, yeah, with you.
Really good story. So yeah, no, I'd be interested in that. Plus, the Green Lanterns isn't something I'm massively familiar with, but I've always,
Mm,
been interested in them in the comics. Not the Ryan Reynolds one, but
no, no.
even the Justice Gang version. Which I forget you remember his name?
I know the guy who plays him. That's Nathan Fillion. I don't know the
Yeah.
character. I can't remember the
Yeah.
character's name. Is it Guy?
Guy,
Guy? Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So entertaining anyway. So yeah, no, I'll be interested in that. I say a detective series with the Green Lantern as well. That's interesting. It's a
Yeah.
different take. That's what I'm enjoying
Weird,
about
isn't it? Mm.
James Gunn's what he's doing at the moment. It's all different takes.
Waller. Waller has been confirmed as a new DCU spin-off show featuring Amanda Waller, Viola Davis is Amanda Waller in the lead role. The series will pick up in the aftermath of Peacemaker season 2, and obviously his well, it doesn't reference his Suicide Squad film, but that is in canon with his universe, right? I swear it is, or is
The
it not?
Suicide Squad would be, I'd imagine.
But that
Not
had the
necessarily
same Harley Quinn
canon, but
from Zack Snyder's.
it did kind of. But Zack
Here
Snyder
you
didn't
go.
have a
Here
Harley
you go.
Quinn.
With it already, I'm lost. Okay. Uh, I don't know what to say
I,
about Waller. The character was fine in both
I
Suicide
don't
Squad
either. I don't know
films.
what you do with her for a series, though.
Yeah, what do you do in a series? Is it like The West Wing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's like high level political and control, isn't she? So,
Don't know.
yeah, I
Paradise
don't know.
Lost, we've already talked about, is the Wonder Woman TV prequel series set in Themyscira. This is the home of the Amazons, the birthplace of Wonder Woman. I'll be honest, this sounds like Game of Thrones. Uh, Political machinations and sort of rising to power.
Weird
Uh,
rituals, probably.
Weird rituals, yeah, I'm sure. Um, yeah, the key thing for this was like, what audience are they going for? Are they going for the Game of Thrones mature audience? Because then that will invite more interesting political sort of. Otherwise, what's the interest? If you're going to make this sort of, I guess, family friendly,
I
why do
feel.
you why do you do this? Just to set up
It,
the Amazonian world? I mean, how much interest
is
is
it a
there in that?
broad audience though, or is this going to
I
be
don't
more
know.
like female centric targeted?
I think both.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think Game of Thrones appealed to a lot of females as much as it did males.
Yeah, but you're saying it's going to sound like Game of Thrones. I
No,
haven't
it's
got
written
that from
here.
your
It says it's
description.
going to be.
Oh, sorry. That's part. Right.
James Gunn said it's going to be a Game of Thrones style story about Themyscira,
I
the
thought
home
that
of
was
the
what your
Amazons.
opinion was on what you'd
No,
read.
no, no.
Sorry, no,
The
sorry,
home
my
of the
apologies.
Amazons and the birthplace of Wonder Woman. This drama is really about the political intrigue behind the society of all women. How did that come about? What's the beautiful truths and the ugly truths behind all of that? And what's the scheming like between all the power players in that society?
If I'm remembering correctly, is Wonder Woman quite low down in the hierarchy of that place?
She wasn't queen, no. She
She was
was she was just
princess of
soldier. Yeah, she was
something.
daughter of the queen, and who went to I was gonna say the
Yeah,
real
went
world,
left and
the
went to the
the
real
the
world.
human world, if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Could
then
be interesting.
finally, Booster Gold. Booster Gold is a series based on, you guessed it, time traveling hero Booster Gold. Per the synopsis, he will use basic technology from the future to pretend to be a superhero in the present day. This sounds like James Gunn all over. In the
Yeah.
comics, Booster Gold is Michael John Carter, a football star from the 25th century. He travels back in time and, equipped with his robot Skeets, is able to use his knowledge of events and high-end technology to gain the upper hand in modern-day society. There isn't much info about the show out there just yet, other than Peter Safran saying that an unnamed showrunner has not been available to work on it, so the studio has had to pivot. Rumors are that
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, this is a role he's earmarked for Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt still has a Marvel contract, which I think is one of the sticking points to that becoming reality.
I'd be interested in that. It does sound more like you say, traditional James Gunn. So,
Weird ass
yeah.
premise with weird ass characters, and they
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
work. Yeah, yeah,
It does
definitely.
sound very Guardians, if I'm honest, that
Very much,
premise.
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's it. That's phase one of the DCU. If they're even calling it phase one, I didn't see what it written as, but that's phase one.
Optimistic and some interesting ideas in there. Like I do,
I
yeah.
think
By
it's
and
like
large, I'd
I
like to see
think
how that world develops.
off the page for me, that rings like a Marvel slate. There's some you go, wow, I can see that working. There's others you go, huh. Clayface and the Paradise Lost one. I'm like, okay. I'm not sure about that one, but
Mm.
I've been proven wrong before. Agatha All Along was really great. I had no interest in that going into it. I thought, why are you making this? This seems like a waste of money. And actually,
Mm.
it was one of the best TV series Marvel's probably done.
You said the same thing about Daredevil Born Again as well.
As what?
You weren't particularly interested in it.
Daredevil Born Again. I don't think I said that. I was gonna, no, I think I was probably very enthusiastic even before I'd seen a shot of it, just because I love that character.
I liked the confusion and rage in my comment there.
There was no rage. There was no rage. I knew you were innate. Other than that, we'll go. There's some other stories, but I think for the purposes of just sort of, I don't want to say time, but for the purposes of just like, being succinct, I'm going to name the story, see how interested you are in it. We'll sort of go dovetail into what we want to talk about. But dovetailing from DC to Marvel, the Russo brothers put out a post online. I don't know whether you saw it. The random
Put,
picture, and it was like a
put two out now,
mystery.
haven't they?
They put two out? No, they put one out.
There was one
'Cause
with blurred text, and then the second one was a picture of a set.
yeah, the picture of the set is the only one they put out. The one you're probably referencing is the one from Endgame, which is 7 years ago, where they had the letters
Oh,
written
right.
out.
I've misread a story then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they said that they've done that sort of picture again to sort of give a clue to the audience as to what they're referencing. I've seen all kind of theories about what they're referencing
So
in
have
it.
I. Yeah.
The obvious ones are there's clearly an A and there's clearly an X. And you go A
X,
versus
yeah.
X. That's what's. But we knew that was gonna. So I'm like, I'm skeptical that that's what they're releasing because we already knew because we've seen the cast release and we're like, well, clearly they're fighting. Yeah.
I've seen other theories about it being the Loki World Tree. I've seen.
I saw
I,
rumors that because it said AVX, they're going to change the name of Doomsday to AVX. I can't see that
uh,
happening either. I think that's bollocks because
I
we're a
also think it's
year
too
out from
soon.
Doomsday.
I'd
Yeah, they're
rather
not
that
going
had
to.
its own central storyline and wasn't
That
just
should be
shoehorned
Phase
into.
Seven's end of Avengers movie, maybe even Phase Nine if you build the
Well,
characters well
well,
enough.
they're sort of blowing the load as much as Secret
Yeah,
Wars was if
I
they
agree. It's
shoehorn
a
that
what
into the film. It's a
you.
story worth telling. It's one of my favorite comics, honest to God.
I think
And
the film you're
yeah,
putting some Avengers against some X-Men for the purposes of the Doomsday story. You are not telling the story of Avengers versus X-Men because that is leaving money off. You are yeah, like you said, you
yeah,
are wasting money because that is an end game of its own in Phase 9. If you want to
yeah,
build to that,
absolutely,
don't
absolutely.
don't
You've
waste
got to
it there.
build up
Yeah, yeah,
characters in the X-Men to be able
totally.
to tell that story correctly. You can't just throw it in there.
It's a great comic. I think that you're wasting it if you're going to waste it there. But then they've wasted things in the past, so you never know. But I don't think I believe that. The other rumor I saw was that I think New Rockstar's your favorite, Eric Voss. He was proposing that there was the Wolverine claws on the wall, so they're
I saw
alluding
that
to the
too.
fact
Yeah, no,
Wolverine's going to be
I
in
didn't
it.
quite get that.
I saw I've seen everyone write out everything under the sun. I saw someone write out Wanda. I saw someone write out like Tony
Agatha.
Stark.
I
Agatha
saw
was
someone
there.
write out
Yeah.
Agatha through it.
Why would Agatha be in that post?
Yeah, that was the one
Yeah.
that threw
No,
me.
I've
I saw someone I managed to write Agatha through it, and I was like, where does she fit here? Like, great character, love Catherine Hahn, the actress, but I can't see her in this.
I think I don't know. I think the X's on the wall behind are clearly important for whatever they're writing out. Otherwise, why would you do it there?
But are they X's?
Their crosses on the green screen
They
behind
are
the wall.
crosses, but there's also a bar going in the middle of the cross,
Oh no, I'm not saying.
which could
I'm
turn
saying
those
those.
into
No, no.
A's.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not saying those X's are clues. I'm saying those X's are spelling out something. If you were to draw the dots around those
Oh, you could draw
X's.
anything in there then, if that's
No,
how
I
you're looking
know,
at
but
it.
whatever they're referencing will use those to whatever they're to what
Hmm.
end they're trying to do. I don't know what that is. I think it's too simple to say AVX. That's stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Wolverine claws on the wall because I don't know why you would put that big post and only have that little
But what's
area isolated.
which of the brothers is sitting in the chair? What's the
Joe,
importance of him?
Joe.
Yeah.
He's been in. He was the body in Civil War in the bath. He was also uh the guy in the therapy session with Captain America at the beginning of Endgame.
Yeah, but he's in that photo is what I mean. What's
Yeah,
that?
he was in
What
the
is
other
that?
photo
What
as
is?
well.
Oh, right, okay. But what I'm
So
saying
it's
is
just they're
like
just repeating the shot from before, and they're doing it
I did
again.
see Eric Voss, by the way, when he talked about this, and what he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying was
Eric, I
the
like you for the record.
the spotlight shining on
The
Joe
wall,
Russo. Did you say it was
the
shining
wall
on? Yeah,
behind, shining on the
that
wall
was more
behind.
significant. Like, what's it telling us? He's sitting there. The spotlight's there. It's pointing there.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, as to what it says, I don't know. I haven't really, for myself, when I look at it, I don't get anything. I'm interpreting what other people have seen.
Yeah. Well, to summarize, I think who knows what the hell that's referencing. The other news with Doomsday is that the trailer, apparently the first trailer, will be at the front end of Avatar: Fire and Ash, or whatever it's called. The third Avatar film that's coming out in December. Apparently, we're going to see the first trailer for
Yay.
Doomsday at the bottom of that.
I look forward to the trailer, not for Avatar.
I don't think it'll be a massively revealing trailer, but I think we may see RDJ as Doom for the first time in that trailer to get people hyped.
I mean, I've seen some fan made trailers that look pretty cool. So
there are so many AI
yeah,
rubbish
yeah.
online. Yeah,
Because every time one pops up, I get interested. I'm like,
have you seen the one with Tom
that's
Holland in
clearly
Spider-Man? Have you seen the one Tom Holland looks around and goes, Tony? And
no, I haven't seen
takes
him say
one.
Tony, but I have seen where they've got
Yeah.
different clips from different films where they're all looking shocked at something, and then again, it's
I-
the Doom revealing the mask in an AI.
I do loathe the world we live in with AI. It just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Other than Marvel news, before you shout at me, rumors that Daredevil has been included in the cast for the Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Well, a little cameo at the start at street level,
Possibly.
nothing more.
I think it makes sense if he's in there.
Yeah, at a street level. I'm just saying
It's
that's where
Punisher,
his
it's
place is.
Daredevil, it's Spider-Man going up against
Yeah,
fingers crossed Kingpin, but they weren't going to do it. But fingers crossed Kingpin's got something to do with the plot.
I
Because then you
feel
could
like he
tie in the
must
TV
do.
show. You could
He
tie
must
it
do if
in.
that's what they're doing. If they're bringing
If
Daredevil
they're
in for
bringing
sure.
Punisher in there, it makes all the sense in the world to have Daredevil
Yeah.
and have it be that anti-vigilante force be part of the plot.
Mm.
He referenced Spider-Man in the show anyway in season one of Born Again. Anyway,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I hope
I
that
can see
rumor's
that. I
true.
do see that.
Hope that rumor's true. Uh, I guess other Disney news, they released or they leaked a synopsis for Star Wars Starfighter movie.
Okay.
May or may not be aware of.
I am
Apparently,
not.
Ryan
I know they're
Gosling.
doing the film. You've told me about it.
Yeah.
But what the synopsis is, I have no idea.
So
And I think
apparently,
did
the
you say got
synopsis.
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's the star of
Ryan
it.
Gosling. Yeah.
Apparently, he is going to play a bounty hunter or a smuggler, similar to Han Solo, I'd imagine, who is ferrying a young Jedi protege to Rey. So Rey is back involved in canon or prominence or whatever. The Rey
And
movie's
it's
gone completely quiet for a multitude of reasons. Probably lack
and
of fan interest, if I'm honest. But it's.
they just got to retcon so much from those last three films to get any sort of fan base back. I feel
I think this is
you're
what
gonna
they're
have
trying
a
to
fan
do.
base, yeah. People will see it because it's Star Wars. I don't
Yeah,
doubt that, but there was so much ruin from the George Lucas original six
yeah.
in those last three films that I don't have faith in this. What you've just described to me, basically.
Well, they don't work as a trilogy, which I think is the problem. The big problem with it is that they had three different filmmakers not talk to one another, and for a multitude of reasons, not make the same movie. Oh, sorry, two, because J.J. Abrams did the first one, the last one, but Ryan
I
Johnson
don't.
made what film
I
he wanted to make in the middle, and
I
then
don't think the story itself has much to do with it. I think it's the
no,
universe that was altered and changed, and you know what I mean. Like it wasn't George
yeah,
Lucas's anymore, and there were certain things that were definitely set in stone that
yeah,
were thrown out the window. So again, listening to that synopsis, if they left the Jedi out of it and it was a Starfighter film
mm,
about Ryan Gosling, I'd have more faith in it. But now they've brought the Force
yeah.
back into it. I'm like, I don't trust them to do right by it.
But that just might be the plot. Maybe it's just like they drop to Ray at the end, and then that's it. That's the most.
But a Jedi
It's
protege suggests they're going to have some
yeah,
sort of Jedi-ish about them,
yeah.
and
You're right.
that's the
Mm,
part where it's like suddenly they can do everything with zero training.
mm. Moving on, Simpsons movie sequel has been announced. They are making a Simpsons movie 2
Yeah,
about 20 years after the last one.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I
No
look forward to it on
idea about
streaming.
plot, no idea about anything. It seems an odd time to do it because I don't think The Simpsons has ever been less relevant. That's
Yeah,
maybe they're
maybe
thinking as
that's
to
why.
why. There was always Matt Groening always had the idea to make a movie to end it, to finish it. So I don't know whether
Okay.
that's. I'm sure Disney wouldn't want to do that, but maybe in his mind
Was
he's like, just end it. We'll end it. We'll do one big movie,
maybe
one
so.
big
I mean,
final splash, and then we're out. We're gone, done.
like you say, interest has dwindled, particularly over the last decade. And I'm sure I remember our brother talking about that Marge died in one of the episodes. I don't know how true that is,
I
but
haven't seen a new Simpsons
I mean,
episode
if
in
they went as
about a
far as to
decade.
do that, I mean, it's possible it's coming to an end, and this is just nicely wrapping things up.
I haven't seen a new Simpsons episode, maybe in over a decade.
I mean, I know we tend to go back and Google the ones Conan
Oh,
O'Brien wrote
I
'cause they're the
watched the
best.
old ones because I like the old
Yeah.
ones, but the new ones put me off so long ago just because it just wasn't funny. And it was
No.
just, I didn't particularly like what they were serving up, so I just stopped
Playing
watching.
into
But
existing character tropes without much originality. And a lot of
I
singing and
honestly felt
dancing.
like they were trying to be American Dad at the or Family Guy, and I was like, well,
Mm.
I'd rather watch Family Guy and American Dad for that type of humor. I'd go to The Simpsons for a very specific thing, and then they stopped
Yeah.
doing that, in which case I checked out. But anyway, they're making a movie. There you go. They should. They should probably end it. They should probably
I,
end
I
it.
I will watch it, but it doesn't bother me that they keep it going. I
No,
mean,
it doesn't. It
it's
doesn't
only on
annoy me.
streaming now, isn't it? I don't know if it's even on TV anywhere.
It must be on TV in America, I'd assume. I
Don't know.
don't know if it's on Sky, whatever
This is what I'm
Sky
saying.
looks
Is it
like in
even
the
on
UK.
TV in the UK anymore? Like it's.
I don't believe so.
I'm only a streamer watcher, so I don't know. But
I
yeah,
don't
I only
think it
ever see it on
is.
Disney
If it
Plus.
is, it's on maybe Channel 5, but nobody watches
I
Channel
was
5's
surprised when I first got Disney Plus in 2020 or whatever it was that The Simpsons were on there. I was like,
back
Disney owns
catalogue.
Simpsons? Yeah, I had no
They bought
idea. I was like,
Fox.
oh,
And they bought Fox.
yeah, yeah.
They bought Fox specifically for streaming. So they bunged all the old Fox stuff on there. The
Thing is
Alien
that,
movies, the Predator movies, and
yeah, and all those are what viable builds, but buys, sorry, but I don't think the Simpsons carries on much.
no.
Yeah, people won't go back and watch it once it ends. I think it's only while it's carrying on being watched that people will go back and
Well,
watch
just
it.
think about, our younger brother, for example, who's just come out of teenage
Yeah.
years. Is he bothered by The Simpsons? Was he ever bothered by The
Not
Simpsons?
at all. I don't think
Exactly.
it's
That's the
past his
generation
generation.
they didn't grab that generation of
Yeah,
youth,
yeah,
and so now they have the audience they have, if any, and I think ending it would probably be a good idea, but
yeah.
that's my take. Uh, News I'm really excited about. Well, am and aren't James Bond. We've got some James Bond news. We're both James Bond fans. We both like James Bond film. Maybe me more slightly more than you, but
Yeah.
they are. I think they hold a special place in my heart. Anyway, did you see the poster censorship that Amazon did when they re-released the back catalogue
I
on?
saw your video on the Zekeism channel
Oh, did you?
about
Okay,
it,
you're welcome.
but I wasn't aware of it before that.
Well, thoughts on it?
Ridiculous. I
Yeah,
mean, the
absolutely
photos look
ludicrous.
ridiculous without the guns, and to remove them in the first place is a weird neutering of a character that didn't need to be neutered.
Stupid, needless, and pointless. And we know. Think about all the movie posters in the world ever that are currently on Amazon anyway that feature firearms.
Yeah.
It is a clear singling out of this character in particular because
Mm.
this character holds certain characteristics that aren't agreeable with modern day audiences in Amazon's
Chauvinistic,
idea.
shoot first, think later,
In
those sort of
Amazon's
things.
in Amazon's potential crosshairs, he's a chauvinistic pig. Quite that's the character as written. He's a chauvinistic pig, and he's womanizer.
Hmm.
Uh, he's also a trained killer, and he does the right thing. That's the character. So you mess
Yeah.
with that character at your peril, but you bought that character. You
Mm.
bought the franchise. You bought the licensing right. You bought oil. So instantly, your first thing is you do a game show with that Road to a Million thing with Brian Cox. Weird. And the next
Yeah.
thing you do is you neuter, you neuter his iconography from the posters straight off the bat, and you go, what are you doing?
The weirdest thing I think since they bought the James Bond franchise is the mooted Moneypenny series, which I would straight away was like, what? She's never
Yeah.
been trained or any
The
sort of
head of Amazon
spy, or
streaming has
she's
lost
not
her
like
job.
Alfred, like Batman's Alfred, for example, who had a past in MI6 or MI5 or some sort of
Yeah.
criminal underworld, whatever story you read in the comics, he had something there. Like Moneypenny's always just been the PA to M, right? So yeah, there's a lot of strange things I think they're doing with the franchise, and I don't trust Amazon moving forward. They're gonna do anything decent with James Bond. Doesn't feel like the death of James Bond, but at the
There's
moment, it doesn't
two.
feel like they're gonna
There's
do anything with him.
There are negatives because I could give you Amy Pascal is one of the producers they've put on the Bond franchise from their point of view. She is the former head of Sony, responsible for the female Ghostbusters remake, a big, staunch, I would say, feminism driver.
Okay.
Maybe the other thing they've also partnered her with David Heyman, who was just the producer of all the Harry Potter films, who did a good job on those.
Okay.
So it is like a yin and yang situation potentially. Nothing against Amy Pascal potentially, but if we've heard about this Moneypenny series, we've seen the neutering of his posters, we go, okay, there is some sort of motivation there
Mm.
to change the nature of James Bond or the franchise's perception or whatever for a potentially modern audience is what we're thinking they're trying to do, that mythical
Yeah.
modern audience. But also, they've hired Denis Villeneuve as the director. Brilliant director. Dune
Mm.
films,
Yeah.
Prisoners,
I'm a big fan of Doom.
Arrival, Blade Runner 2049. Amazing
Love that film.
filmmaker.
Good film. Yep.
Amazing filmmaker. And he's a big fan of the James Bond franchise. In a vein like similar, very similar to Christopher Nolan, I think, in terms of they're very staunch into no, that's this. If you're entering a franchise, you adhere
Can
to
you
what
imagine a Christopher Nolan James Bond? Ooh.
Well, he's said in interviews, you sort of got it in Inception in that final half an hour, within the snow.
Okay,
That's what he says. And Tenet, I think he said as heirs of Bond, but I didn't particularly love Tenet.
I can see it in those two films actually. Now you said it. Yeah.
But so yeah, Denis Villeneuve is a big tick in the box. They're also linking Jacob Elordi. I don't think you know who he is.
I'm not familiar with that, no.
No. As the next James Bond, he's been linked. He's the latest name to be linked with the role. He's just about to play the Frankenstein's monster in the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein with Oscar Isaac that's coming out in a week or two.
Okay.
On Netflix. He's also was in Saltburn. I don't know if you saw Saltburn.
I did, yeah.
Okay, he's the... I can't even remember the character's name now, but yeah, he's in Saltburn. He's one of the kids in Saltburn.
Rich kid number one.
I'd have to go back and see which number rich kid he is, but yeah, he's in Saltburn. But yeah, so yeah, that's him. He's linked with the role. He says he wants it, so, as they all seem to. They all seem to want it. So yeah, it's interesting. I hope for good things. The fact Denis Villeneuve is there under the hood gives me hope that they're going to do right by him. And the final bit of news, which I know you're going to be into, is the Highlander movie. Full steam ahead. They've just added Drew McIntyre to the cast, by the way.
Absolutely.
As Henry Cavill, who's leading the cast.
Tongue-in-cheek, though, with that.
Yeah.
But Henry Cavill,
it's on the nose. It's massively on the nose.
Massively on the nose for what he plays in WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I can see the casting. Is Drew playing the Highlander?
No, Drew is playing the brother of the Highlander.
Okay,
right. Tells me he might die, is what I'm going to say to that.
Yeah, but Henry Cavill's the Highlander himself then.
So I can read the cast out for you. That's here on IMDb. Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Jeremy Irons, Drew McIntyre, obviously, Jimon Honsu, loads of things, Blood Diamond. He's in the first Guardians as well. He's in loads of other things. So yeah, a good cast for a Highlander movie.
Very strong cast.
Yeah, strong cast. So they're filming in Scotland at the moment, apparently. So yeah, all good. I mean, it's going to be. Is it Henry Cavill versus Dave Bautista? You've got to assume as the.
I'd hope so. I think Bautista's earned himself a leading role.
I love Bautista.
Great actor. But
apparently, it's going to be. I've heard it's going to be focused on sort of like a Mortal Kombat tournament for the role of Highlander.
That is Highlander, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I can't remember the first one where there was a tournament involved, though.
Not necessarily a tournament, but if I remember correctly, now I'm not expert on it, but they seek out...
No, I'm really not a Highlander aficionado.
So they seek out the other Highlanders, and they have to defeat the other Highlanders to take their power or to take the sword, or there's something there in that, but they find... So it is kind of like you say a tournament, but it's more of like, as they go through the world doing their usual thing, they stumble across other Highlanders, and they fight it out, basically.
Oh, okay. Wow.
If I'm remembering correctly, please let me know in the comments if I've got that wrong.
No, I mean, the cast alone, I think, sells it, but I was never a big Highlander guy, but this does get me interested, this cast.
I mean, I don't think we ever watched the films, but there was that TV series on Sky One growing up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a Highlander series.
No, I trust you. Do you remember the RoboCop one as well? They had that on there.
Yeah, RoboCop was great.
Yeah, the RoboCop TV series, though, where it's at PG.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It did because we were about 5, but yeah, it was nothing like the film.
Because nothing beats the film getting his legs shot off and all sorts.
His legs?
You can't.
And everything. And then
everything.
Some,
yeah. But you can't replicate that on 6:00 in the evening on a terrestrial TV. Can you?
Yes, but they should endeavour to try to do that. 6:00 in the evening.
How would they do that?
I don't know. Well, don't put it on at 6:00 in the evening would be my advice.
True.
Oh, if that was made today, it would be so gritty because we get more gritty TV shows now than we ever did before.
It would be a Netflix 10-parter.
The handcuffs are off when it comes to TV production nowadays. You think of Game of Thrones, brutality, and think Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and Last of Us and all the other gritty things you see made nowadays. Monster, we can get onto Monster in a bit. That's a good segue. So Monster, the Ed Gein story, making headlines all over the place for good and for bad reasons, or spurious reasons. Uh, I've watched it, you've watched it, so it seems like quite relevant to sort of start our "What are we watching" section with that. I'm 5 episodes in. You finished the series?
I've finished it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Really, really good. The best acting performance I've seen from Charlie Hunnam. Really interesting story. It differs from reality, I think, when you look into it afterwards. I don't know about you. When I get interested in a show, sometimes I go and look at the actual, especially if it's based on real life, you go look at what
Yeah.
actually happened. But either way, fantastic story told. And forget what's the name of the director? Sorry,
I'm not sure. Direct was it Ian something, but the Ryan Murphy. You
Ryan, isn't
mean
it? Ryan?
Ryan Murphy's the guy who
Ryan
made?
Murphy. That's it. Yeah,
He's
Ryan
the
Murphy.
brains behind the creation of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's everything he's touched so far in that series. Whether it was Jeffrey Dahmer,
Mm.
or what's the other one? The Menendez brothers, sorry, or this one. It's been
Menendez. Yeah.
really, really good, really good. Each time I've gone away and looked at what actually happened, and yeah, I've enjoyed the show immensely. Good casting, with Charlie Hunnam. I was doubtful at first because I've only ever seen him do gangster films or Sons of Anarchy or what's the weird series
Are
on
you
Apple
telling
TV where
me?
he's
Are you
sorry.
telling me his performance in this is better than Green Street? Is that what you're telling me?
That's that's probably his worst performance, if I'm honest. There is a show on Apple, but this is it, right? When you see someone do something really good, you
Mm,
go back and watch other things they've done, and it's made me want to watch a very spurious series on Apple TV where he runs away from the law in 1950s or 60s America, and he ends up in India. Never breezed past it a million times, never
mm,
wanted to put it on, but now I'm like, huh, actually, I'll go check Charlie Hunnam out now. Let's see what he's
mm.
doing in that. But anyway, going back to Monster, I think it's a really good series, really well told, and yeah, enjoyed it immensely.
I have mixed thoughts on it, if I'm honest. I'm
Are
only five
you
episodes in.
are you telling me Mother has mixed thoughts on this?
Oh, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I'll start with Charlie Hunnam. I think he's good. I don't know if he's great. I think he's good. He can clearly act. I think his acting performance is fine. I
Yeah,
think the
I'd never say
voice
it
is
was Oscar worthy, but it's
no,
good
no, but
performance.
some people are, and I think then
Oh
some
no, it's
people
not
who
that far.
really, but then people are really taking against his performance because of the voice or because of certain things that happens in it. So I think it's a mixed bag, but I think he is good in it and he is good in the role. Um, and the supporting cast, I think the acting is fine, if not good in it. I think the acting
Hmm.
is very good. It's very well made. It's very well shot. It's very well executed. It's very slick. It's very well made. I have issues with I guess the show overall because one I'm looking at because I like Dharma and I like the Menendez one, the Monster series,
Yeah,
and I don't think they were as I don't know what the word is, but I don't think they were as aggressively realistic as this one is.
I can see that. Yeah, okay, I
This
can see
this
that.
one is so. I guess I can't think of any other word to describe it. Is some parts of it are unnecessary, in my opinion, without being too much of a prude. Because I'm not. Because
Also,
I like stuff like
also
this.
quite possibly, but they have been each different, right? So Dharma
Mm.
was a little bit more like a foolish guy who didn't seem to understand the world
No, and I
almost.
get these are all based on
The
real
Menendez
crimes
brothers
and
was more of a
real.
comedy, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Whereas this one is a guy who, I mean, you've only seen the 5 episodes, did you
Yes,
say?
I've only seen 5 episodes. Yeah.
Okay, so it's hard for me to not spoil anything by telling you more, if you know what I mean. So,
But is there much to spoil? Because it's a based on a real case.
more about the tone and things that happen in the series, if you know what I mean. I don't want to ruin that for you.
Okay. I mean, I know the story of Ed Gein, so it's not.
Okay, I mean, the ending itself, to summarize Ed Gein, was a bit odd, for me personally, and I think the tone they sort of tell in the final 5 episodes is more of like a misunderstood guy, of like, is he mental? Is he not? Is he? It gets a bit odd. I found throughout that, but overall, it was a good series to watch.
I find the tone, and that's what actually I can relate this a little bit to Dharma and the Menendez one as well. There is an element in all three series now of almost defending the killers.
Yes, yes, that's
And
the
I'm
bit that
like,
that I found confusing about this
I'm
one.
not sure that's the right attitude for a multitude of reasons or morally. but two, it's an odd take. Now, third strike, and you've gone. There is an element of you sort of trying to excuse away some of the rationale behind why the crimes were done, and almost have
Mm.
a take that isn't there in the history books. It is a
Yeah.
sort of, well, he was a misunderstood soul, and he was mentally abused, and he had a
Mm.
horrible upbringing, and of course, you would all go mental if you were in that situation. I'm not sure that's the message you want to be putting out there in the show. So that's one element I have a problem with
I
because I
can
don't
see your
understand
criticism
why.
there.
I
I
don't
can see it.
understand why that's your take. If you're writing that down, if that's your script, and you go, here's the biopic of Ed Gein in warts and all, because I think this show is literally warts and all. You see in graphic detail everything,
Mm.
more or less. I think you see everything. You see
Yeah.
absolutely everything he committed in the nth degree. Then you have it combined with the fantastical sequences where I think actually some of them are really well done. This is where I think it's a really well made show. So I'm dovetailing slightly between the good and the bad because it's really well made. The sequences where they sort of transition between what he did and what are in the films that were taken from his crimes. So Psycho,
Yeah.
for example, he obviously didn't dress up like the mother and stab in the shower like he did in Psycho, but they do it to show you quite cleverly, I think. Well, maybe not cleverly, but well made anyway. The significance of what he did on pop culture, always reference to his influence on pop culture. So
Yeah.
Psycho took from it, and then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's not swinging the chainsaw in the woods when he does his crime, but Leatherface was based on him, and they have Ed Gein doing the chainsaw swinging like
Yeah.
Leatherface does because it's trying to show the audience that's where that parallel comes from. It all originated with the story of Ed Gein, or it's all influenced by, and the obviously embellished stories of like Toby Hooper making Texas Chainsaw Massacre and having the idea in that caravan smoking a joint, and Alfred Hitchcock uh, wanting to influence cinema, and then it all goes wrong. I mean, they're all that's all really spurious, and
What about
there's no
Alfred
evidence
Hitchcock
to
being
support
a
that whatsoever. So those are sort of like I don't want to eye roll it, but you go, okay, well, this is just embellishment. You don't know that happened. This is just an artist influence sort of thing.
yeah, I was wondering that myself when Alfred Hitchcock was a peeping Tom.
Yeah, I mean that
Was that real? Was that
there
is
are
that part as well?
there are accounts of perhaps he did that because he was quite
Okay.
hard on his actors, and Anthony Perkins, who played um what name escapes me, Norman Bates in Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that he died of HIV, so there are
Okay.
stories that stuff is potentially real, but it's never been confirmed. But obviously, the show goes out to
Hmm.
tell you this is what happened when actually there's accounts of it and there may be sort of evidential thing, but he never said it, and there's never any sort of substantial concrete evidence to support. So these are all, put it this way, this is all very a fantastical series about maybe what if. It's all a what if show. But I think, but I think my biggest gripe with it, and I do think it's a good show. To be fair, I'm more positive than I am negative, even though it sounds like I'm just ranting about it. The biggest problem I have with it though is it is the sort of morality slap your wrist because you go, you should not find this stuff really entertaining. This is what the message of the show is really. It's that all this stuff that originated from the Ed Gein crimes and all these influences on pop culture and where we are
Yeah.
now as a culture, our obsession with violence and all this other stuff. It originated with the Nazis because the Nazis influenced Ed Gein. The Ed Gein then influenced Psycho. Psycho led to all those horrible sort of torture porn films, which I hate, by the way, as well. I really hate torture porn sort of stuff. I have no interest in watching that stuff anyway. I think it's all
Hmm.
grotesque and unnecessary, which is sort of what my problem with this program is because some of the grotesque sequences are really grotesque. And I'm not sure you had to go so graphic, especially if you're trying to impart the moral message that all this stuff is immoral in the first place, but you show a whole bunch of it anyway in such realistic depiction
Yeah,
that you're
there's a
like,
true irony there. I can see
so I
that.
see. So that's what my problem with it is. I go, well, if you're taking this tact and you're taking this side of the argument to then show the counter argument, or sorry, to then put it all on screen as if you're sort of talking down to them anyway, but you're going to give them a bit of the thing you're telling them not to like anyway. In fact, you're going to give them a whole lot of it. It's like, okay, I'm not really sure what happened in the making of the show then, because I don't, and I didn't have this problem with Dharma, and I didn't have this problem with the Menendez one either, because I think it wasn't trying to. This one feels very much more preachy than the other one did. I think that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Um, you've thought about it a lot more in depth than I have. I did just
Probably.
enjoy the show. The only part that I did find confusing to as it carried on throughout the series,
Mm,
particularly those last 5 episodes, I'll be honest, that you're probably going to watch,
mm.
was how they do they don't necessarily apologize for him, but it gets very confusing as to who's the bad guy.
And I think that's what I thought. That's where they were going with it, because you can just sort see where, and a lot of it is 8 episodes. That is a lot. That's an unnecessary amount of episodes for this show.
I'll be honest, they did clearly stretch
Right?
the
Yeah,
story
yeah.
out, but I enjoyed it. I wanted to watch more. Do you know what I mean? Like I did
Yeah, yeah.
enjoy
It's
it,
a
and
it's a well-made show, and I don't. I'm
yeah,
not saying I don't. I was gonna say enjoy it. It isn't really a show you can enjoy. It's more an interesting show. I found the same. Dharma I found really interesting. It's not an entertainment thing for me anyway, but it's an interesting look at the life of a quite mentally challenged and serial killer.
mm,
Um, and the sort of crimes they committed. I must admit these are all American tales anyway, so I'm unfamiliar being a Brit as to the nitty gritty of the details. Ed Gein I was way more familiar with because he's influenced so much stuff, and I actually appreciate the show going to great lengths to explain to you the links between very famous properties that we know
mm.
of and where they originated from in terms of the idea or sort of like the linking between, obviously he was influenced by the Nazis, and he then influences Psycho, and then
Yeah, yeah.
the Ed Gein fingerprints over pop culture.
So
It
there
is
is
an
a
interesting show
yeah.
to make about because of that, but that could have been a 3 or 4 episode documentary series in the vein of something similar for me, like the Yorkshire Ripper program that came out on Netflix a year or two ago,
Mm.
which was sort of in a documentary style without narration, but it showed you the evidence and the crimes and what they
There
recreated to a
is
certain
a
extent.
obviously you haven't finished it yet, and
No, I haven't
again I
finished
don't
it
want to
yet, to be
spoil too
fair.
much, but there was a couple of theories that I can't talk
Okay,
about
okay,
where there's a lot of things that are and the show makes no, it makes sense when I heard it, but the show makes
right,
no reference to it where there are certain things throughout that are fantastical
yeah.
in himself, like from where it just reminded me what's happened in episode 5, sorry, so don't go too far for you.
Episode 5 is
Has
I've
he been
just
arrested yet?
no. He's
Okay.
just Adeline has just gone to New York and come back after the photographer, played by Elliot Gould, randomly shows up as as the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
photographer
yeah.
to say her photos are bullshit, basically that she took
She
of
has
a
no
real
talent.
dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Elliot Gould, is that Elliot Gould? I was like, oh my god, what the hell? But yeah,
Speech you normally hear for some director giving an actor or an
yeah, no,
actress, if you
totally.
know what
That's
I mean.
exactly what it
So,
was. It was a dressing
yeah,
down of her proposed morally scrupulous artistic work. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. So yeah. So I mean, I did what you did, and I go online to get the real. What's the reality of this story? Because you always do
yeah.
when you see a true crime thing. You go, oh, what really did
Interesting
happen here?
reality I found, if I'm just talking about Ed Gein as a subject, right, is that he's not actually a serial killer.
Hmm.
You have to
What do you
kill
mean by
three
that?
or more, is the rule. Only killed two.
I suppose no. Yeah, that's true.
He's a grave robber, if anything.
Yeah, he's a grave robber and a desecrator of
Yeah, that's it.
corpses.
But
Yeah, no, that's true.
that's ultimately what he's done. So
Hmm.
a serial killer has to be three or more, from what I've read as a definition. But he's obviously one of the most famous there was, and had some very sick things going on in that house.
So the two in the woods are the only two he killed then.
No confirmation he killed those.
Oh, really? Again, they paint that as realistic and actually
No
happened.
confirmation. They went missing.
There you go. There's
Nothing.
evidence.
Nothing
No, I
said.
think that just goes to what I'm saying. Is it paints a story that is based in conjecture. A lot of it is based
A
in
lot of it's
conjecture.
conjecture based on the real story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there
And
are certain factual
you'd be
evidence.
interested as well to look up his relationship with that Adeline.
Headline, really? Okay. So there were, yeah, that felt
Completely
tacked
different to
on.
what's in that show.
And I've seen news reports saying that a lot of what's in the show has been disputed by the people involved, or the families of the people involved.
I even watched a video about a psychologist talking about
Mm.
Adeline, and
Really?
how likely it was that
That she
the
was
version of
involved?
events the media printed that she was involved in all the rest of it and was his
Oh, really?
girlfriend versus whether she actually was. And they came to the conclusion that if she had have been involved in everything that it was going
Mm.
on as was reported and was involved with him in a lot more than somebody they apparently just met up in a coffee shop and they talked about crimes that were going on in the
They didn't get
newspaper and
engaged or anything.
not that I'm aware, not that it's proven,
So there you
right?
go. This goes to what I'm saying.
But what she was saying was like this is a person who once this was done
Yeah.
disappeared from the spotlight completely, was never mentioned again. No one really knows where her life
Wow.
led.
Okay.
And if she had been involved in these crimes, would have been constantly seeking to prove her that she wasn't, not just get away
Wow,
from
that's
me. I have
crazy.
nothing to do with this sort of thing and backing away. So that was a
Yeah.
psychologist's take on it as well, which I also found interesting. So the
Mm.
show has probably, like you say, exaggerated, if not,
Yeah. It's
perfected
for
some things to
it's
because
it's
in artistic license, let's call it.
it's embellished for dramatic effect.
Yeah,
The reality, the crime, to paint to tell a story or to
to
narrate
tell
it.
a
But
story. Yeah,
then that's my I guess my point is I didn't feel this way about Dharma or the Menendez one. I didn't I wasn't bothered by them doing that in the other one. Whereas
do you
this
know why
one
I think
feels a
they've done
lot
it?
more why?
I think they've done it because there isn't really that much to tell across so many episodes in terms of what his
Boy, they
actual
pad it
story
out.
is. So they've
Boy, they
padded it
drag it out
out.
though.
Even the linking to the stuff in the what
The
he
Anthony
influenced,
Perkins stuff and
yeah,
then
to
the
what he
Alfred
influenced
Hitchcock
from
stuff
Alfred
and
Hitchcock,
yeah.
etc. Even that for me is a little bit padding. Now, overall, I did like the show. I can't say that wrong. So
Yeah, I
I'm
like it as well. If I
being
if my
being
I'm
overly critical here, but
what's the Rotten
um,
Tomatoes thing?
it
It's
it
60% is a
yeah,
positive.
but they for sure padded it out with
Yeah.
these tropes, if you know what I mean, to make it across a number of episodes because it's a very simple story. Apart from that, it's not Jeffrey Dahmer who
Hmm.
did so many killings and with such an
Hmm.
odd way and was eating them at Joey because you could tell that across a load of stories
Yeah.
and bring his childhood into it. The Menendez brothers, the twists, the turns, the brothers' own weird
Hmm.
ways of thinking because they were privileged white kids, sorry, privileged children
Hmm.
in a privileged life. You know what I mean? But it was yeah, so
But
you
that's
could
my
tell that
point.
across a
You
number of
could sort,
episodes.
but the result of that show, and this is, again, I didn't have this problem with that one, but that show led to people calling for them to be released from prison in
Yeah, yeah,
America,
yeah,
which is crazy.
yeah.
With a show that's basically
But, but
artistic license, like you said.
but because, like you say, they it was
If Ed
like
Gein was
they
in prison now for these things, there would be people outside going, maybe you should release him because it's not his fault.
if you get to the end, you may think that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, fine. Okay. Oh, I look forward to that. So that's my take. Oh, our take on the
I
Ed Gein
honestly, I
story.
do want to talk to you about the last episode when we
Okay,
get
I'm
to
gonna
it.
try and rifle through it tomorrow or the next day, and then we can talk. Maybe we'll save that for next week. We'll see. Uh, Moving on. Are there any other things you've been watching that you want to recommend to people, or anything you want to talk about
Um, yeah, I mean, well,
or rant
so
about?
no, I don't really have any rants. I've been watching some good stuff. Invasion continues to enthrall me on Apple TV.
It's an Apple.
Really good series again. Recommend that to anyone. Definitely the one thing if I ever ask you, Zeke, to watch is that. Been catching up on Gen V. Not as good as the first season. Worth
Mm.
watching because Series 5 of The Boys is coming out. So there's characters from The Boys popping up in it, but
That's on Prime,
it's
isn't it?
become a little bit more uh, dare I say, Gossip Girl than superhero.
Oh, really?
And it's
Okay.
not quite the tone of the first season of Gen V, and it's not quite the tone of The Boys either. It's got a little bit
Right.
like we're high school detectives, if you know what I mean, and evil dean sort of stuff, rather than a dean
Oh,
of the
wow.
university, that is sort of stuff, rather than
So
being
like
just superheroes doing.
Gossip Girl meets Demon Headmaster.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's kind of a fair
Okay.
assumption. And yeah, so I'll keep watching it, but it's not lost me completely yet. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm a bit
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, just get on with showing me some crappy, like crazy stuff that you tend to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then what I will recommend to anybody who listens to this podcast this week is a film called Novocaine with Jack Quaid. Don't know if you've seen it, Zeke.
I haven't seen it. I've heard
So
it's
he is
like
basically the same character he is in The Boys. It's
right,
basically The Boys, but he's mortal. So what it is he plays a character who can feel no pain. He's lost all sense in his nerves.
right.
So he's essentially like a walking pot of Novocaine. That's what
Is it like
where it comes from
Crank?
the name. A little bit like Crank, but Crank still
Yeah.
felt the pain. He was just
He was just
on,
mental.
looking for the
Yeah.
adrenaline all the time, wasn't he, to keep himself going.
Jason
But no, he can
Statham.
feel no pain. So there's some real graphic scenes in there, like when he puts his hand in a boiling pot of water to reach for a gun, or but
Yeah.
everyone else he's fighting does feel pain, and he's
Right.
just it's one of those sort of where the character's just stumbling through the fights and coming out okay.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's a good watch. I did enjoy the film a lot, and I like the boys anyway. So he's basically Stewie from the boys. So it's the same
Yeah.
character, but just in a different film. Yeah.
Okay. Fair
What
enough.
about yourself? What you been watching?
Well, I checked out the first two episodes of the new series, season 5 of Only Murders in the Building. Um, I've got thoughts on Only Murders in the Building. Like I said, everyone raves about it. If you
Everyone
go
says
on
it's
the
good.
tube, everyone gives it 5 stars and stuff. And when I watch it, I love Steve
Hang on,
Martin
are
and
you
Martin
just looking at
Short.
posters though?
No, no, I watched the show. I've watched all 5 series now.
Oh, right. This isn't you
So
just
I'm
jumping
I'm an
in. This is
avid
oh,
watcher,
okay.
but I'm always watching a different show than the reviews paint. The reviews paint it as like this 5 star comedy masterclass. It's hilarious and all that sort of stuff. It actually isn't. All it is a very well told murder mystery thing usually, and that's number one what it is. It's a murder mystery show made by Steve Martin predominantly, I think.
Yeah. See, I'm expecting Pink Panther Steve Martin.
No, it's not that at all. There
Okay,
there are there
because it's
are
got Martin
portions.
Short in it as well, doesn't it?
I mean, Paul Rudd was in the fourth series, and Meryl Streep's
Okay,
been in it.
okay.
So they have these sort of it's very New York premise
Hmm.
because they're in this high rise building in New York, this
Cup of
apartment
coffee.
building, right? Yeah, exactly. There's this apartment building they live in, and then the first series is basically they're big fans of murder mystery stuff, right? So they decide to do a podcast about murder mysteries. And
Hmm.
in the end, there is a murder in the building that they end up investigating and podcasting whilst they're investigating it, like amateur detective sort of things.
Yeah.
And that's basically the story of every series. There is a murder in the building that they are investigating whilst they're making this podcast, right? That's the premise of the whole show.
Okay.
Martin Short plays very Martin Short. In fact, he's probably the funniest part about it because he's very campy, he's very sort of Martin Short. But
Yeah.
the comedy stuff is very minimal, I find. A lot of it is murder mystery. It's very sort of, like I said,
Okay.
these amateur podcasts, and it's a very interesting sort of like who done it, like Knives Out or something. It's like Knives Out strung across 10 episodes with Steve Martin and Selena Gomez and Martin Short, and maybe a celebrity guest star, right? And
Okay.
Nathan Lane's in the building for a bit as well. It's so it's mostly a murder mystery with little comedic. So maybe one an episode, maybe they'll have an interlude between Martin Short and Steve Martin, who
Hmm.
like they'll have a tete-a-tete, like a little argument or something. That will be really funny. And then it goes on with the murder mystery stuff. There's not a lot of humor in it for something that's billed as this 5 star comedy, amazing show you need to be watching. So I'm like, it's really weird. And then this series, I'm a bit not checked out, but I'm like, I'm not really engaged with the murder mystery plot. I've got to be honest, and it's sort of like the weakest series start, if I'm
Okay.
honest. And it's one
So
of those shows
it's
where I'm like, I do like it. I don't love it. I certainly don't love it as much as everyone else seems to. Yeah, see, I
it's run
seem to
its
have a
course then.
really, yeah, I seem to have a really disproportionate reaction to the show than other people seem to. But yeah,
Mm.
that's my take on Only Murders in the Building. I like it. I don't love it. It's fine. But I like it because I watch it because it's like I don't know. It's like it's fine. It's something to watch.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really. I'm
Okay.
not trying to sell it because I really don't think I have. But that's
No,
what
I'd
it
say
is.
it's interesting because I see it advertised a lot,
Yeah.
and I think I even spoke with my partner. She was like, "Oh, we should watch this and stuff," and I was like, "I don't know." Like it's never gripped me from a promotional standpoint to
Mm.
go, "Yeah, I want to watch that. Looks good. Looks great. Looks cool." You
I'm
know.
sure if you watched it, you'd think it was fine. You wouldn't hate it. You wouldn't love it. I think you'd just be like, it's fine. It's fine.
Mm. I'm currently on reruns of Everybody Love Raymond, so if that finishes and I get round to it,
Me and
maybe
my
put
wife
that
are
on.
re-watching all of Parks and Rec. That's what we're on. So that's
Oh,
our
brilliant.
joint entertainment in the evening. So we
Is that the only
rewatch Parks
reason
and
you're
Rec.
jealous of my upcoming Nick Offerman show?
It's not the only reason. I've been watching Parks and Rec for years. I love Nick Offerman. He's brilliant.
Yeah,
Very
he's been
very
great.
funny man.
Right.
But I've seen him in. Was he in The Last of Us? Wasn't he? He was
He was in
in
The Last of Us. He did a
Last Mission
he had a
Impossible film.
recurring
He was in
role.
a random cameo in the last Mission Impossible film as one of the generals. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
that's Nick
Didn't know that.
Offerman.
Didn't know
He's
that.
like in it.
Yeah,
He's in it for like 5 seconds. I was like, that's Nick
yeah.
Offerman. What's he doing in
He
it?
did a recurring role for a few episodes in Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. Was really good in that.
I
There
don't
isn't
know.
anything I've seen Nick Offerman in that I haven't liked. So
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. Nothing else to sort of flag.
I feel like I'm always watching a few more eclectic things than you.
Possibly. It depends what I'm watching. Do you know what? The thing I watch the most in our house is probably YouTube, similar to you probably.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the thing that probably gets watched the most, which I think is those that's cultural discussion to be had about that. But it's yeah, the YouTube, just random YouTube. I mean, my wife's into a lot of Disney vlogs and all that sort of stuff, and I watch what I watch on that.
I was gonna say, you slip in Murders in the Building in between reruns of The Princess Diaries.
Hmm. Not me specifically, no.
Okay.
But that might get watched. I don't know. Yeah, is that or Miss Rachel is in our house. I know you don't know who that is, but yeah,
I
fine.
do know who Miss Rachel
Oh,
is
okay.
actually, not by choice.
Well, it's
The
either
one
that or Harlow, which I
I
can't
don't I
stand.
don't have kids, but one of our other brothers said, "Go on Netflix and look up Blimpy or Blippy." I
Blippy.
was like, he goes, "It's amazing. You've got to watch it."
No, it's not.
Now
It's
my
actually, I
Netflix
think it's actually harmful for children,
my
Blippy.
Netflix algorithm is just pumping me Blippy all the time, and I cannot stand the guy. But I know who Miss Rachel is, again through that same brother because he's got it in for his kids all the time. And
I mean, would you
fair play
rather
to
be
her. If I know her
pumping?
backstory, right? She just started
Yeah,
making videos throughout COVID, and she's done really well for herself.
yeah. Similar. She's the Joe Wicks of America.
For children, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, to end with, I thought we'd end with a quiz. That's what we seem to be gravitating for. I hear you've got something for me.
Yeah. Actually, I'd forgotten until now. So this is the Marvel conundrum. I want you to make sense of. Try and
Wait, it's not a
try and
trivia
put some
question.
try and put some logic to. Well, this is film continuity. Try and
Right.
put some
So,
logic to
for
as to
context,
as
before
to
we started recording, you said, I've got an idea for a feature. I'm going to give you a Marvel plot hole, and you've got to work your way out of it. Is that what it
I,
is?
kind of yeah. Because I don't know if I'm gonna have one every week, so not necessarily
Oh,
a
okay.
feature. But when I find one or think of one, because you
Okay.
love Marvel, you love
I
Kevin
do.
Feige.
I
How
do.
did these things slip through? In my opinion, that don't make sense to the
Lord
overall
Feige.
story stuff. So.
Yep.
Um, do people need training in order to cast Doctor Strange? Was it where he portals somewhere else?
Do they need training?
Yeah.
I think they've
So
established that no,
so
because Ned
so,
does it without training, doesn't he?
and that's the question, right? So
Right.
Doctor Strange struggles, has to learn for months,
Yeah.
gets it in the end. It's the one thing he can barely do, and
Uh-huh.
Sparks can't quite do it for ages.
Hmm.
America Ferrera, what's
America Chavez.
Chavez, sorry, America
Yeah.
Chavez. In Multiverse of Madness, you see her at the end there. She's learning it, still struggling,
Hmm.
can't do it. Can do multi-dimensional portals herself because that's her power. But in order
Hmm.
to spin that, she's really struggling, having to learn.
Hmm.
Ned, just in Spider-Man, No Way Home, picks up the
Yeah.
thing, just does it straight away. In walks
Hmm.
Tobey Maguire. Um, what's the continuity there, Mister
I mean,
Zeke? Sorry.
the obvious answer is lazy plot device, but for the purposes of this, I'll try and explain away. I mean, obviously, I think they want you to think that there are individuals in the world who will have. I mean, he mentioned his family lineage, right? In No Way Home, Ned did, but there's some link to wizardry in his lineage. Again,
Did he?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, there was a line in there. So I think there are some who will learn the craft of waking portals and having the sling ring on. There are
Yeah.
others who have natural proclivity for magic or sorcery, and I think they're alluding to the fact Ned has that. I mean, if he becomes the Hobgoblin, which is in the comics,
Yeah.
then he doesn't use magic. So I don't know what that's about. So that's a bit weird that they did that. I think the obvious answer, the right answer really is lazy plot device that was in No Way Home. To how do they get from one place to the other? He has to get. How do you get the Spider-Man into that place at that time to have that
Yeah.
moment with Tom Holland? And you don't really pay attention to it, but like you said, it doesn't make much sense when you compare the other the other trainee sorcerers who have to go through that.
Didn't make sense. I was disappointed in Feige.
Well, No Way Home was technically a Sony film, so you could blame them for
And
that.
that is the answer. When I said to you earlier as well, I said I think I can guarantee what the answer will be. That is the answer I was expecting to hear.
No,
So thank you for saying it.
no,
You
I'll
Feige
shop.
shill. You
Yeah,
Feige
no,
shill.
I'll shop Kevin Feige because he's quality assurance. He should be across this thing. You are right to cop
Exactly.
him out. I'm agreeing with you. For the record,
But I
for the
expected you
record,
to go, it's a Sony film.
it is a Sony film though. That is true to say, but Marvel Studios obviously makes the creative choices. But we've seen with them arguing with Brand New Day that Sony does have quite a hand on what they make and how they make it. So I don't know. It's a horse designed by committee. These Spider-Man films. A camel.
Okay.
You know all about those. Do you want a question from
Humps.
me?
I don't know what that means.
Camel toes.
That was all my questions. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. I've invested, as you can see on the camera, which other people can't, the movie quiz 2025 trivia
Oh
book.
no, you mean we put down the Marvel question deck?
We did
for
put down the Marvel
5-year-olds?
questions. I can ask you those as well if you want.
Hit me with some adult questions.
I thought you'd quite enjoy, and there are chapters here, so I can give you the chapters if you'd rather, just to show you that I'm fair and balanced. There's subjects like 80s movies, blockbusters of the 70s, the MCU, DC on screen. DC on screen would be a good one to do. Animated movies, romantic comedies, horrors, sci-fis, you name it.
Oh, I mean, movie knowledge wise, it's probably 80s onwards for me, and even
Okay.
then, it gets strong. It gets stronger the further away we get from the
90s
80s.
classics, 2000s era, Oscar winners.
Give
Do you want
me
to
a
do DC
2000s
one?
era.
We'll
Go on,
start
I
with
feel
DC. Should we do
DC or
DC?
2000s era, one of those two.
Was number 8. So it's DC on screen. Let me get to it. Okay, what do you want? Do you want 5 questions like the other one, or do you want to just see you get on?
No, you do 5 questions. Hit me.
Okay. Which movie features the villain Doomsday?
Batman vs Superman.
Correct. Da, 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 da. Who is the villain of Wonder Woman 2017?
Is that's not the 80s Wonder Woman, is it? That's the
No, it's
original one.
I said 2017.
Yeah, I'm just checking. I thought you were just giving me the year it was made. I couldn't remember
No.
when they came out. So this is the Wonder Woman first film.
Uh-huh.
The villain was Ares or Hitler.
Uh, I'll name you one answer, please.
Ares.
Correct. Where did Hitler come from? Was he in that film?
Is
I
it
don't
World War
remember him
One?
being
Is it World War Two?
there. That's World War One, isn't it?
World War One.
'cause
Okay,
he's in the
right,
trenches. He's in the trenches.
all right. So the Kaiser or
Right.
Ares.
So not Hitler.
It's Ares then. Ares.
Yeah, it's Ares. Correct. What is the name of Batman's butler?
Oh, I don't know. Alfred.
It's Alfred Pennyworth. Actually, incorrect. Who is the arch enemy of the Flash?
Yellow Flash.
Reverse Flash. So,
Oh, come on! Like
no,
no,
it's I'm sorry, you don't go to Yellow Flash.
it is. I swear that is his color.
He is yellow.
Flash.
He's not called Yellow.
He's a coward Flash. He runs away.
Uh, which actor plays Shazam in the DCEU?
Oh, that's too hard.
I don't think he's soup du jour with a lot of people because of his political views. I don't know if that helps.
I know nothing about the guy.
And he was in the MCU as one of Thor's friends.
I'd recognize him, but I couldn't tell you who the actor is. Not at all.
Zachary Levi.
No, it doesn't ring a bell at all.
And finally, what is the name of Superman's adopted mother?
Martha.
Yes, correct. Martha Kent.
I literally only know that from Batman vs Superman.
I was going to say, if you didn't get that, then for a proponent of that film, whether
I had to think at first. I was like,
why did you say that name?
Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Save Martha.
Not save my mum or save Martha.
Yeah. Save my mom or something.
Oh god, that film is still good, right? You still saying you're still defending that film as good?
I like it. I like it. Honestly, I do like it.
It's fine.
Even that stupid
It's fine.
scene, I still like it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I recently rewatched the Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour cut. It is good. It is good.
Yeah,
it is good.
love it.
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that that's a good film. The previous one that Joss Whedon did was garbage.
Terrible.
Clearly didn't have any of Zack Snyder's stuff in it because this is a recut of all his stuff.
He reshot it all. I mean,
he reshot so much of it. It's garbage.
The cast up the wrong way, and even the toning and lighting, like he brightened up the film. Where obviously before that, Zack was telling a really dark story. So,
a concise story. A really well structured, concise story by the sound of it. Well, from what we saw,
and that is high praise from you because you are not a Snyder fan.
No, I'm not. But he did a good job on his Justice League. Definitely. Yeah, I'll define that.
I think his best work was doing DC stuff. If I'm honest, because the stuff he's brought out since and the stuff he was doing before,
the stuff he's done since is
great.
Yeah, the stuff he's done since is not my.
Was it Rebel something on Netflix? And he did the zombie film with Dave Bautista?
I was going to say Dawn of the Dead. It's not that. What's it called?
No, it's when they go into Vegas and steal
Army of the Dead
or something.
No.
Army of the Dead or something.
So we're in Vegas.
Tell you what, the story was stupid. The acting wasn't great, but I did enjoy the film at the time. I wouldn't watch it back.
I think it was a pandemic film, and
yes, exactly.
Everyone
will tune in because we're desperate for new content.
We were desperate for new content, and it fitted the bill at that time in our lives. We were like, "There's something new. There's a new film to watch. It's from Zack Snyder. It will serve the purpose," and it did. But it's not a good film. I like the zombie dog in it. That's all I can remember off the top of my head.
I don't even remember that. I just remember the scene where they're running through the casino trying to get out, and the zombies in every corner.
I remember the entrapment bit in the vault as well. Sort of doing the campy guys doing the moves to get through the lasers.
I don't recall that either.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I might have just made that up now thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure that's in there.
Yeah.
They're trying to break into the vault.
Yeah, I remember the overall.
I may have just spliced two films together, but I don't think I did. I
remember the overall.
I don't actually want to go back and rewatch that film. Actually, so
no, I will not go back and rewatch that film. I've got better things to watch.
Yeah, I've got better things to do with my time.
Apple TV, best streaming site.
In your opinion,
absolutely. Defending Jacob, that's Suspicion. Disclosure with Sacha Baron Cohen. Invasion again. I'm trying to get you to watch. Silo, brilliant Silo. When that comes out, I will be talking about that on this podcast. Will they be on? They'll be on the third season when that comes out next year. Hopefully,
you're big Ted fan.
I do like Ted Lasso, but I'm not a huge fan. I previously had a boss who frequently re-quoted Ted Lasso. It was his. It got frustrating to say, so it turned me off Ted Lasso.
Did he speak in the accent?
No, just believe stuff like that. He was like, I just want to do my job, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. That's some place to end it. Yep. Have you got any socials yet? Because you haven't promoted anything just yet, but
I actually haven't, but I will for the next episode.
Set your malarkey thing up. Do that.
They can follow Zook on Twitter. But as soon as I set up Zook on Twitter, and it'll probably be something like Zook does movies or something.
I'll promote him when he does it, but yeah, for the time being, it's Zekeism pretty much everywhere. On Twitter, predominantly Zekeism. We do have a wrestling channel as well, Zekeism Wrestling, Zekeism Gaming. I'm on YouTube as well, and we got podcasts. We hope every week. We're going to try and get this weekly. We failed last week for reasons, but for the sake of anyway. See you next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a like or subscribe on the YouTube channel, Zekeism. Otherwise, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and any other places you get your podcasts. Thank you. See you next week.